into effect at midnight. Then 3 weeks from now, we're expecting 25% tariffs on another $20 billion worth of goods there.
Meanwhile, China has also announced its own retaliatory duties after the White House raises tariffs on Chinese imports by another 10%. Economists worry it'll lead to higher prices overall. Monday's announcement triggered a sell-off on Wall Street, and stock futures are now pointing down again this morning. It is 51 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says it'll be cloudy today, high getting up near 70 degrees, but the wind gusts really pick up later today to as high as 40 miles per hour.
These are strong enough to knock down trees and power lines even without any thunderstorms nearby. Also, travel could be impacted for high-profile vehicles like large trucks and SUVs.
And rain expected to roll in later on tonight into tomorrow morning. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Now, President Trump expected to discuss the economy and possibly those overnight tariffs during his address tonight to the joint session of Congress. We'll also discuss other global issues and border security.
This will be an opportunity for President Trump to sell to the country his take on everything he's trying to do right now. And there's a lot of news that has been made.
Yeah, Kennesaw State political scientist Kerwin Swint says it is actually a chance for the president to connect with some Americans who may question his plan for the country. Live coverage starts tonight at 9 o'clock here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. We will also include the Democratic response to Mr. Trump's address. A bill that would require disabled workers are paid at least minimum wage easily passes the Georgia Senate.
The Dignity and Pay Act would do away with the 1930s-era waiver that allows people with intellectual and developmental disabilities to be paid less than minimum wage. Currently, 8 so-called community rehabilitation programs still employ disabled workers, paying them less than a minimum wage. State Senator Billy Hickman is the bill's sponsor.
In our state, we're paying people as low as 22 cents an hour, and it's just disgraceful.
Hickman says the legislation is about ensuring people are treated fairly. The bill now goes to the House. From the state capitol, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta-based Home Depot wins a lawsuit filed by some of its own workers.
Home Depot defeated a lawsuit alleging it listed interest for workers' back pay on the wrong tax forms, leading to improper withholding. Workers sued the home improvement chain for allegedly rounding down their hours in 2020. Home Depot ultimately did change the time card practices and made true-up payments. And now a U.S. District Court has ruled that the workers didn't allege the type of misreporting that's actionable under federal tax law. The judge also rejected the workers' claims for injunctive relief. I'm John Tucker for 95.5 WSB.
And from one Atlanta-based company to another, Delta is expanding its Shake Shack partnership, offering its burgers to first-class passengers on flights over 900 miles departing from Atlanta. It starts today. Passengers flying out of New York's LaGuardia Airport, L.A., and Seattle can also request the Shake Shack burgers as their dining option. Delta's already been serving up those burgers on flights out of Boston and plans to expand to more routes soon. Bloomberg reports Delta's serving Shake Shack burgers with potato chips rather than French fries, since reheating those fries is really difficult, especially on long flights. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start on the roads, triple team traffic. Smile on Mark McKay.
Still quite a struggle, Judd, into downtown Atlanta from north of the airport. 166 Langford Parkway is where the connector northbound slows. Take it up to John Lewis Freedom Parkway. That's still putting pressure on the right end through East Atlanta. Delays approaching Moreland Avenue. 85 is slowing at North Druid Hills Road. 75 starting to break up those delays in northwest Atlanta as the connector southbound improves past Georgia Tech. Ashley Frasca, 400.
Just under the speed limit between Haynesbridge and Holcomb Bridge. Between Alpharetta and Roswell, rolling 400 south. 85 south, still waves of volume. Stop and go on the brake pedal from 316. Getting down past Indian Trail. Inside the perimeter, not bad, but a little bit sluggish below North Druid Hills. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy and breezy today, high near 70. Wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour this afternoon. Rain and storms don't arrive until closer to midnight. They'll move through the metro region through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Damaging wind gusts would be the main impacts. Drying out tomorrow afternoon, still breezy, high 65.
49 degrees in Stockbridge, 49 in Alpharetta, 51 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30, breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
The News Watch simply will not stop. Breaking news left, right, center. Welcome, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Another action-packed edition of the Mark Arum Show. We are going to preview President Trump's joint address to Congress tonight. We will carry that live here on 95.5 WSB. Scott Slade's going to join us live at 10:35. Cracking a cold murder case in DeKalb County. President Trump yesterday has cut off all U.S. aid to Ukraine. We'll check in Kyiv, get reaction there. Natalia Drozdiak from Bloomberg News going to provide some insight and analysis on that. We've got the eyes on the stock markets. Big plummet yesterday. Crypto fell off a cliff. What do investors think about today on the news of the big tariffs? That is where we are going to start our team coverage. Joining us is correspondent Rory O'Neill. Rory, good morning. As always, thanks for your time. So President Trump going to address a joint meeting of Congress today. But let's start on his tariffs, which go into effect today on goods from Mexico, China, and Canada. What can you tell us about these tariffs that start up today?
Well, I think you'll first see it at the supermarket because we'll have 25% tariffs on imports from Mexico, and that produce is just going to hit your store shelves faster than, say, a new Ford pickup truck. So I think that's where you're more likely to see the price increases. How much can be absorbed by your supermarket versus how much of it is passed on to the consumer, that's a bit of a wait and see. But I think clearly those food imports will probably be the first to see the prices change. If the tariffs stay in place for a while, it could be a few months before we start to see higher car prices or higher cell phone prices.
Now, you had a key word in there, if the tariffs stay in place. Do we think this might just be short-term, just a negotiating ploy to bring Mexico and Canada back to the table?
I don't know about you. I only write in pencil ever since January 20th because things seem to be changing so quickly. And whether or not this is some bargaining technique and the art of the deal by President Trump, it's a bit unknown. 30 days ago, these tariffs on Mexico and Canada were put on pause after both countries agreed to do more to stop the flow of migrants and fentanyl from crossing the borders into the U.S. But when we heard from President Trump yesterday, his argument was much more economics in terms of, hey, these countries are stealing our jobs and our companies, and we need these retaliatory tariffs because they're stealing from us. Well, that's a very different argument now, and we'll see how these countries respond. We know that countries like China have already agreed to slap retaliatory tariffs on the U.S. So, for instance, imagine cotton grown in Georgia is going to be exported to make T-shirts that are sold at a big box store here in the U.S. Well, the cotton is now subject to a 15% tariff when it enters China. Then when China makes that T-shirt, ships it back to, say, all right, I'll use the name Walmart, ships it back to Walmart. Now it's subject to a 20% tariff as a finished product. So you can see how these tariffs can have huge inflationary effects when Georgians go to the supermarket.
Rory O'Neill joining us on the Mark Arum Show. We've seen, we had that 1 month pause on the Mexico and Canada tariffs. The heads of both nations, trying to say the right things to appease President Trump. But now that these tariffs are kicking off today, can we see retaliatory tariffs from our neighbors to the north and south?
Yeah, they've already implemented them in Canada. Mexico is taking more of a wait and see approach to see if this does last or if they can somehow placate President Trump. We got a statement from the White House saying that they agreed to move forward with the tariffs after they accused the two countries of not doing enough to stop dangerous cartel activity and the influx of lethal drugs into the U.S. But seriously, does anyone think that the migrant problem is from Canada or that the fentanyl is coming in from Canada? It just isn't. So what is the reason for slapping such aggressive tariffs on Canada? That's a bit of a head scratcher.
In the meantime, I've seen reporting that China says, well, all right, you're going to put these tariffs in. We are not going to slow the flow of fentanyl into the United States, which would be the last thing that we need.
Well, right. And they're adding more tariffs to the goods that they import. So American corn, American rice, American cotton, American soybeans are now being taxed as imports. Pork is subject to a 10% tariff. Chicken, I think, 15%. So now this is hurting America's agricultural industry, as, of course, China is a major buyer of American produce.
Hearing from any sources what we might hear from President Trump's address today?
Honestly, I don't know where to begin, whether or not He's talking about the situation in Ukraine and how that's changed so much in the past 72 hours, or ever since Friday anyway, or whether it's going to be DOGE, the efforts by Elon Musk to cut spending, success at curbing immigration at the southern border, or the fact that these new tariffs took effect today. Tune in tonight. There's an awful lot to cover.
Rory, as always, appreciate your time, my friend. Have a great day.
Thanks, Mark.
And Judd, following the breaking news that Mexico will impose those retaliatory tariffs, I think that the headline for us here in Metro Atlanta and Georgia, and I think Rory summed it up perfectly, short term. Now, again, if these tariffs remain in place long term, and I'm not convinced they will, but short term, the effect we're going to see is at the produce counter at your local grocery store, getting a lot of the produce from Mexico. The longer term impact, as Rory mentioned, the T-shirts, right? Georgia cotton gets sent over to China. They make T-shirts. They ship them back to Walmart. We're going to get double tariffed on that. But you're not going to see that unless Walmart, gets the price gun out tomorrow. I'm dating myself. That no one has a price gun anymore, right?
No, they don't. I don't think they do. I used to do that in the liquor store. We had a price gun.
You did that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I love the price gun.
All right. So you know what I'm saying. Just remember that price gun. I don't think Walmart folks are going to be price gunning T-shirts going up tomorrow, right? But that is something we have to look forward to. If these tariffs stay in place, I'm not convinced they will. The tariff news yesterday sent markets plummeting. We're going to keep a very close eye on the markets today. In fact, after a quick break, we're going to talk to Caleb Silver from ABC News and Investopedia and explain what happened yesterday with our 401ks and our IRAs and what we might expect today. Jeff Gilbert, automotive expert from WWJ in Detroit, Michigan, is going to join us live at 9:35 on what these tariffs could mean to the automobile industry. A lot of possible local impact to these tariffs. Complete coverage continues next on The Mark Arum Show.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 North.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Let me tell you, folks, Breda has got the bugs beat at the Arum house. Hey, it's Mark Arum, and my local friends at Breda Pest Management know my house inside and out. They've customized a unique treatment plan that stops any bugs and critters. And let's face it, we live in Georgia. We have bugs. We have a lot of bugs. We have critters. We have a lot of critters. We don't want the bugs and critters inside our home. That's where Breda comes in. With Breda, always a familiar, local person servicing my home and answering my calls, never an irritating automated call center. And the folks that come to my house, they're friendly, they're nice, they do an amazing job, and they care. Breda cares more and will work harder for you. They're our neighbors, and they've invested in our community, and doing it better is what the Breda family does. Breda, they handle bugs and critters. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
9:17 on the Mark Arum Show. Still dealing with delays on I-285. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Here's Mike Shields.
Yeah, volume still filled up, Mark, on 285 westbound the outer loop as you leave I-85 and Spaghetti Junction, trying to make your way into Dunwoody, getting to Asher Dunwoody Road. The southeast leg of the perimeter starting to improve after a long-standing crash is cleared. 285 east and northbound the outer loop, getting past Flat Shoals up to I-20. This report is brought to you by Scott Antique Markets. The Scott Antique Markets is this weekend. There's no telling what you'll find. Visit the Atlanta Expo Centers at I-285 and Jonesboro Road. To Scott Antique Markets this weekend, scottantiquemarkets.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
In this house, we stand by Ukraine because it's the right thing to do. But we also stand by them because it's in our interest to do so.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer yesterday addressing the House of Commons. That before the news broke that President Trump is going to cut off all U.S. aid to Ukraine. We're going to go live to Kyiv, check in reaction there. Natalia Drozdiak from Bloomberg News going to join us at 10:50 and really break down the story for us. But again, the big story we're discussing right now, the tariffs that go into effect today with our neighbors to the north and south. Canada and Mexico, and to China. The update now is we are seeing some retaliation from Mexico. CBS's Vicky Barker has the latest from the foreign desk.
Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has just said Mexico will respond to the 25% tariffs imposed by the U.S. by slapping retaliatory tariffs on certain U.S. goods. But she won't announce which U.S.-made products will be affected until Sunday. That suggests she still has hopes of de-escalating the situation between now and then. Vicky Barker, CBS News.
And listen, we saw this a month ago, right? These tariffs were supposed to go into effect a month ago with Canada and Mexico, and President Trump paused them and negotiated for better protection on the border when it comes to fentanyl and immigration. I don't know if there's much negotiating room with China, but maybe. And as the Mexican president said, she'll announce what the reciprocal tariffs look like on Sunday, giving us some wiggle room, maybe some negotiating room. But unfortunately, the threat of tariffs rocked Wall Street yesterday. Joining us from Investopedia and ABC News, it's Caleb Silver. Big dip in Wall Street yesterday. Very nervous investors this morning, Caleb. First of all, what happened yesterday, and what can we expect today when the markets open?
More choppiness.
stock market doesn't like uncertainty, and tariffs bring a lot of uncertainty with them. We have those 25% tariffs going into effect now against Canada and Mexican imports, 10% against China. And you're already seeing the impact of this just in the economic sentiment, the slowdown across different industries, and the uncertainty in the stock market.
What about the foreign markets overnight? The Nikkei, the European markets, are they doing anything noteworthy ahead of the opening bell here in the States?
Oh, they're selling off, and they're selling off big time, about 1.5% sell-off across some of the Asian markets, worse in Europe, and we haven't even had the tariffs go into effect against European imports that are already in effect. So general uncertainty about this, and when you think about what could happen in April, this is just the beginning of the tariff war. There's potential tariffs coming against semiconductors, automobiles, timber, pharmaceuticals, and then reciprocal tariffs, because don't forget, China announced some reciprocal tariffs last night. Canada announced a staggered reciprocal tariff that could go up to $125 billion worth of goods. So this is just the beginning of a trade war that could turn the economy upside down.
Caleb Silver joining us on the Mark Arum Show. Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong, the stock market is doing pretty well in the first 2 months of the Trump presidency. Did yesterday's performance knock out the gains we've seen so far?
Well, yeah, we're negative for the year if you look at the S&P 500, and we were just at record highs just a few weeks ago. But since February 19th, and that's when President Trump really ratcheted up his intention to make these tariffs go into effect at the beginning of this month, the stock market is off about 5.5%. And what you're seeing is some relief rally a couple of days, certainly during the middle of the week, but on Fridays and Mondays, nobody really wants to be holding stock. So when the sell-offs happen, they happen pretty violently. Volatility is very high right now, and that's what you see when there's uncertainty. Uncertainty is like kryptonite for investors, big investors especially, and when they can't see the future, they sell first and ask questions later.
Indeed. Caleb, for the folks listening that have retirements invested in 401ks, IRAs, advice, just stick your head in the sand and ride this thing out?
Yeah, I'm one of those too, and so are so many of your listeners, and there's really not much you can do because we don't know how this is going to ultimately play out. I would say that we've seen things like this happen in the past, but never to this degree, and this administration is pretty unpredictable with a lot of its policies. But I would say stay the course because stocks do revert to the mean eventually. We've had a pretty good run for the past several years, and we're just dealing with a lot of uncertainty right now. You could sell if you're afraid to, if you need money in the short term, but if you're a long-term investor, ride it out. Stocks eventually revert to the mean, and we'll see if and when that happens, but I do anticipate it will.
Have we heard from the Trump administration at all, Caleb, about what's going on with the markets and what they expect moving forward?
Well, the president has said this is going to hurt in the short term as we get more reshoring going on here in the United States. We make more companies manufacture here in the United States, but long term, this should be beneficial to economic growth. We'll see if that is the case, because right now we're seeing companies having to pay a lot more for the goods that they import. They're going to have to pay even more than that, and they're going to pass those costs on to the consumer. The president will speak tonight. He's addressing Congress, and he'll probably speak to the tariffs, his intention with those, and how long he expects the economic impact to be felt by Americans across the country.
Final question for you, Caleb. I don't know if you have the answer to this. I know less than nothing about crypto, but I've got a lot of friends that are invested in crypto, and apparently there was some big crypto movement yesterday. President Trump or the administration pushing crypto in a new direction, which surged the crypto market, and then it fell off. Do we have any insight in what happened with crypto yesterday?
Yeah, from the early days of the presidency, the president announced an executive order to create a crypto task force and also hold more cryptocurrency, Bitcoin in particular, in its stockpile here in the United States. Well, over the weekend, he tweeted it on Truth Social that the United States would create a crypto reserve, not just Bitcoin, but other coins as well, including XRP, including Cardano, including Ether, and those prices surged, but he wasn't very specific about it. So the devil's in the details about what that actually means. The United States has about 200,000 Bitcoin in its treasury that it seized from illegal activities, but he's talking about potentially adding more. Reserve is very different than a stockpile. Reserve means the United States intends to continue to purchase cryptocurrencies, but with no details. The cryptocurrency market, especially those coins, flipped. Yesterday, those sold off, and they're even lower than they were before he made that announcement on Sunday.
Buckle up, friends. Caleb Silver, Investopedia. Caleb, great insight as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, again, I know less than nothing about crypto. Don't take any, I'm not offering advice or anything, but a couple of buddies of mine are heavily invested. And apparently when President Trump said that the U.S. was going to increase the reserves, crypto shot up, not just Bitcoin, as Caleb mentioned, but others. And apparently there were some really big investors that went long on crypto. Again, I don't know really, they're betting crypto is going to go up. So they went long before President Trump made that announcement that the crypto reserves are going to go up. And crypto skyrocketed, and all those investors that went long then sold off their positions, and that's why it is apparently fallen. Again, I know next to nothing about it, but that's what I've been told. Bitcoin right now, right? That's the preeminent crypto, lost $3,300. It's down to 82,624, a loss of 3.85%. Futures markets, again, the Dow's opening just a little bit. Not too bad, down a little bit. Europe down across the board. The Asian markets across the board. Again, I've got an IRA. I've got a 401k. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I'm just going to wait it out. I am losing sleep, though. This morning, Deborah, usually, my alarm goes off at 4:30. 2 mornings in a row, I've woken up before my alarm. And I thought it was just because, I got a show, I got a plan, but apparently it's harder to sleep longer when you're older. Is that what the statistics say?
Yeah, so some sleep scientists are doing a study on why it's harder to sleep as you get older. I think we're all the same. I didn't sleep well. I'm not sleeping as much. Apparently, children, it's just easier for them to fall into a deeper sleep. As we get older, we just don't sleep as deeply. We don't get into the REM stages that our brains need. And so that's why we struggle to stay asleep. So if you want to sleep a little bit longer, these sleep scientists are saying you need to kind of calm your brain down a couple minutes before you actually go to sleep. So turn off the TV, get away from the devices, stop eating, stop drinking anything, and kind of chill out before you actually head to bed.
The device thing for sure. I have to put the phone on the other side of the room because it's there. It's like, if your mind's racing, you're like, let me just check my email. I've found a key to falling asleep is, once you put the phone down and turn everything off, is to just think about something that makes you happy. Like for me, last night I was like, I'm going to have a chicken parm sub tomorrow. Just so you don't worry about, the markets, this, that. You just think of something like my dogs or baseball, like whatever puts you in a good mood. That helps me fall asleep. But I'm waking up earlier and earlier. And I used to be a guy, even on the weekends. Like I used to be a guy that on Friday night would stay up till 2 a.m. and sleep till noon. I'm waking up at like 6:30 on. I know. I miss those days. I'm waking up at like 6:30 a.m. on the weekends. So, all right, just blame it on me being old. I guess that's the case. I've heard from some of my older colleagues here at the station of having to get up during the night multiple times to evacuate the bladder. Knock on wood, I'm not there yet.
Really? I'm there already.
Are you there already?
I'm there.
All right.
Every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Wow.
I've got that to look forward to. Hey, by the way, that's Longoria. He's back. He had a crazy situation when he was off in Dallas, Texas. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show. But when we come back, Judd's got your news, weather, and traffic. Tariffs in effect and reciprocal tariffs in effect. What is that going to mean to the automotive industry and us here in Georgia? Automotive expert Jeff Gilbert from WWJ joins us live in Detroit next on the Mark Arum Show.
Have you ever really thought about the service companies you use? If you don't already have an HVAC company, let me save you some time. For almost 30 years, Ragsdale has been knowledgeable, friendly, and on time. I know you can trust Ragsdale to take care of all of your HVAC, plumbing, and electrical needs. Quality work at a fair price and a 4.9 Google rating. Some of Ragsdale's employees have been with them for almost 30 years. That's trusted work right there. There's no time like now before spring arrives. Schedule at ragsdaleair.com. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
See this garage door? I gotta be honest with you. It's ugly. I mean, successful, attractive homeowner like you, it's time to move on. This is not the garage door your parents thought you'd spend the rest of your life with. And that ain't true with everything in life, don't get me wrong. I mean, honey, if you're listening, you can't divorce me just because I'm no longer the handsome stud you married. But your garage door? The neighbors all think you can totally do better. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Let us show you how many sexy new alternatives there are. Just waiting for someone like you. You swipe right on a beautiful new design, we install everything in a lovely ceremony, and you and your new garage door live happily ever after. For better, not worse. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come make it right. Maybe I should pick up some flowers on the way home.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. Our top story this half hour. We're seeing fallout from the overnight tariffs announced by the White House. Going to get to that story in a minute, but we start with a big change in the weather here in Metro Atlanta and North Georgia. We start the day with cloudy skies, high near 70 degrees, but WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says get ready for some winds.
A wind advisory is in effect for Tuesday afternoon through early Wednesday morning, as wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour are expected for the metro region. These are strong enough to knock down trees and power lines even without any thunderstorms nearby.
And those winds can also cause trouble with high-profile vehicles like trucks and SUVs. Could see some heavy rains through the overnight into the early morning hours on Wednesday. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Now to those tariffs imposed by the White House overnight, including 25% duties on most products coming from Mexico and Canada. Mexico announcing in the last hour it will respond with retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods of its own, although it has not said which ones as of yet. Canada and China already announcing their own plans for tariffs. Correspondent Elizabeth Schulze says it all means higher prices here on everything from produce and cars to gas.
About 60% of the crude oil that the U.S. imports comes from Canada. Our refineries are actually uniquely built to process Canadian oil. GasBuddy expects that the tariffs mean prices could go up by 15 cents a gallon in the Midwest, as much as 40 cents a gallon within a week in the Northeast.
President Trump demanding that Canada and Mexico move production of some goods to the U.S. He wants them to crack down on fentanyl moving across their borders into the U.S. as well. These tariffs triggered a major sell-off on Wall Street on Monday, and as the bell rings this morning, boy, everything well into the red. The Dow opens up down about 350 points. NASDAQ down more than 150, and S&P is down almost 1 full percentage point right now, down about 50 points. Going to keep an eye on those numbers as we head through the day. Other stories we're watching this morning. An overnight wildfire near the Buford Spring Connector threatens homes. Really shows the dangerous fire conditions around Atlanta and really all of Georgia.
Fortunately, Atlanta fire crews are able to contain that fire near Armand Drive with no damage to property. Likewise for a fire near Waller Park in Roswell. The two blazes demonstrate the risk Georgia is under currently, a high fire danger warning, according to the Forestry Commission's Wendy Burnett, who says people need to be mindful.
Humans are certainly the number one cause of wildfires, not just in Georgia, but throughout the nation.
She says the elevated risk will continue through the month, so stay vigilant.
The easiest ones for us to put out, the ones that never get started in the first place.
You can track the status of statewide fire activity in real time on the Georgia Forestry Commission website. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
And Casting Networks releases a list of TV shows and commercials going into production in and around Atlanta.
You can be the face of a popular lifestyle network. This is a full-time gig offering an annual salary of $150,000. Or how about being part of a sexy reality TV show in an exotic locale? All you have to be is, as the ad reads, hot, beautiful, sexy, and single.
That may be you. Bloomberg's John Tucker reports Casting Networks helps actors and other performers find work. It is 9:33. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. We start in the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
Delays starting to build out of Buckhead into northeast Atlanta, Judd, with road work that's setting up on Georgia 400 southbound right at the ramp to I-85 southbound. That's blocking the left lane. Delays on 400 already start back at Lenox Road. You can take Lenox Road southbound or Piedmont, work your way down to the Buford Spring Connector as a way to avoid those delays. And road work into Cab 20 eastbound getting past Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. Left lane blocked in the CD ramp. Also setting up right lane road work getting past Wesley Chapel Road in the through lanes. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cloudy and breezy today. High near 70. Wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Heavy rain and thunderstorms arrive after midnight, sweeping through the metro region through 5 a.m. Damaging wind gusts may knock down trees and power lines for early tomorrow morning. Drying out tomorrow afternoon, though still cloudy and breezy, high 65.
49 degrees right now in Duluth, 51 in Marietta, 52 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Hey, WSB is looking for a home for goldfish. Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News. He is our dog of the month. With Paws Atlanta, we're looking for Goldfish's new family. He's about 3, loved a good belly rub when we met him here, cuddling and curious. Meet him at WSBradio.com/dog. Our sponsor, Finley Roofing, pays the adoption fee. WSBradio.com/dog.
Everything's going to cost more to build, or to fix, if you're repairing something.
That's
or
Christian
building something,
Hernandez.
it's
He
gonna
manages an industrial supply company in Yuma, Arizona. Tariffs in effect. Could it impact our purchasing power when it comes to automobiles here in Georgia? Automotive expert Jeff Gilbert joins us live next on The Mark Arum Show.
Don't get fooled by window fiction.
It's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows. Now they're calling it vinyl composite, but no matter how they say it, vinyl windows are still bulky, cheap, and plastic.
Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows are beautiful, not big and bulky like vinyl composite windows.
Experience the fiberglass difference at your home or in our new Alpharetta showroom. 0% interest available.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
This is Congressman Mike Collins. In just a few short weeks, President Trump and House Republicans have worked to secure the southern border, root out government waste, and restore American energy dominance. Learn more about our efforts at collins.house.gov and let me know how I can best serve you as we turn our country around.
Paid for with official funds from the Office of Representative Mike Collins.
It's happening, guys. Your hair's thinning, the crown's disappearing. Hair loss might have you feeling you've lost your identity. It's Mark Arum here. Thankfully, there's Advanced Hair Simple One-Day Treatment. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. I've seen Advanced Hair's incredible results with my own eyes. Get your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
At Shane Company, we'll help you create a ring as unique as your love story. We have the biggest selection of diamonds in all shapes and sizes, and center stones in an array of colors, including sapphires in blue, pink, green, lavender, and more. Just the other day, a couple picked out a blue sapphire that perfectly matched her eyes, and they left knowing her ring was truly one of a kind. That's what happens at Shane Company. Come check us out. You might just fall in love with something unexpected. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
9:37 on the Mark Arum Show, which means the markets have been open for 7 minutes. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ all down a full percentage point. Shaky, nervous Wall Street investors reacting to the tariffs that went into effect today with Mexico and Canada and an increase in tariffs in China. And we're seeing reciprocal tariffs now from Mexico, China, and it appears Canada. The Ontario Premier Doug Ford, I guess that's like the mayor of Ontario, the governor of Ontario, he vows to hit back with twice as hard tariffs on the United States. What does this mean to us here in Georgia, specifically when it comes to cars, trucks, SUVs, car parts? Joining us live from Detroit, Michigan, automotive expert for WWJ, covers the automotive beat, our buddy Jeff Gilbert. Jeff, good morning as always, buddy. Thanks for your time.
Sure, thanks for the call.
So, I mean, the tariff's broad, right? It's broad. It could impact groceries. It can impact our T-shirts and underwear. But let's get hyper-focused with you on the automotive industry. For us here in Georgia, if these tariffs stay in effect, they went into effect today, what does that mean for us in our purchasing power when it comes to cars, trucks, parts, et cetera?
Yeah, and again, that is an important line you had, if these tariffs stay in effect, because they're meant to foster a change in behavior on cracking down on drugs. So it's possible they could only be in effect for a short time. If it's a week or two, that's kind of a blip that the auto industry has had a chance to prepare for. So no harm, no foul. If these last for month after month after month, then we're going to see car makers paying higher prices for parts. We're going to see vehicles that are made in Mexico and Canada, and there are a lot of them, costing more because they'll have tariffs on the hood. How much will be passed on to the consumer? Well, as you mentioned, car prices are already hovering around $50,000 on average, so car makers don't have a lot of room to raise prices more, so they're going to try to raise them some, but they're going to have to eat some of the other cost.
Jeff, are we going to get double tariffed on some of these parts, because tariffs that we implement on Canadian products, and Canada is going to hit back, and Mexico is going to hit back. Does that mean we can get a part that is imported from Canada or a part that goes to Canada and comes back to the United States as part of the vehicle? Are we going to get double tariffed on some things?
It's quite possible. I don't know because I don't know all of the minute details. But if you take a look at, say, a Ford F-150, best-selling vehicle in America. One of the plants that makes them is here in Michigan. Well, the engines for that vehicle are made on the other side of the border in Windsor, Ontario. But wait a second, some of the parts that go into that engine go across the border from the U.S. to Windsor. So you can see how many times parts can cross the border. The part goes into the engine goes back across the border into the U.S.
Jeff Gilbert from WWJ in Detroit, Michigan, joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I'm going to personalize this.
Okay.
I'm actually going to, use you to my advantage. So I've got I've got a 2015 used car. It's given me a ton of problems. Just always something's going wrong, and I'm like, I should get a new car. But I'm getting now I'm shifting gears, thinking, well, shoot, if car prices are going to go up, maybe I just ride this puppy out, deal with any repairs I have to do, because I think that it might be way more expensive to buy a new car or lease a new car because of these tariffs. And I'm worried that I might not be the only one in this situation. And if that is so, that I'm worried that new car sales are absolutely going to plummet if, as we said earlier, if these tariffs stay in place. Are the automotive makers worried about that?
Absolutely. They've been worried for a while about anything, from interest rates to rising prices, tanking car sales. So far, car sales have remained steady, not at pre-pandemic levels, but they've been slowly growing since the pandemic. And there is a little bit of worry about that. I mean, say, for example, the tariffs never have anything to do with the vehicle, never increase the price. But if somebody's sitting at home right now listening to us talk about it and they delay a purchase, that could have an impact. And as you mentioned, if that's amplified by person after person, that has an impact on sales. It has an impact on profitability. Car makers have to put more incentives on vehicles to make sales. They cut back production. That cuts back workers. And you can see how this cycle plays out. I've seen it play out many times, more recently during the pandemic, also during the big crash of 08-09.
I'm thinking about here in Georgia, we've got some big automotive plants here in Georgia, foreign cars produced here in Georgia. Are those the parts that come? Is Mexico and Canada not part of the equation when it comes to making the Kias, the Hyundais here in Georgia, or are they still relying on parts and services from Mexico and Canada?
Oh, yeah. The supply base is the auto industry thinks of itself as North American. It doesn't think of itself as U.S. I mean, that goes back to the NAFTA and now the USMCA days. So they source parts from all over the place. And one of the interesting paradoxes about this is if you look at a Hyundai or a Kia or particularly, say, Toyota, for example, they make the popular RAV4 in Ontario. So that vehicle will have a tariff slapped on it and will cost more when it's sold in the U.S., but a Toyota or Lexus built in Japan that's shipped over here will have no tariff. Same thing with, the Hyundais that are made there. They may cost more because they're having Mexican parts in them, but a Hyundai that's brought in from South Korea may have no Mexican or Canadian parts, so they may have no tariff.
Interesting. So for the folks that are listening that work at the big Kia or Hyundai plants here in Georgia, I don't want to say they're tariff proof, but it should be a lesser impact on them?
Why don't you try tariff resistant as opposed to tariff proof? And yeah, Hyundai is building a brand new plant there, so they're going to do all they can to keep that going because that's a big investment. And that also brings the other question of, will this prompt car makers to build more plants in the U.S.? Well, building an auto plant takes time, but it does impact their long-term outlook where maybe they stop thinking of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico as one market and think of them as three different markets and feel they have to make build more product in the U.S. But that's long term. That's not going to flip a switch.
Sure, absolutely. Final question for you, Jeff. I believe we heard from the CEO, the head of Ford Motor Company the other day, talking about tariffs. What did he say? And have we heard from other heads of automakers on their reaction to these tariffs?
Yeah, actually, the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, has been the most outspoken. Most of the rest have been, we'll see, let's see what happens. We're taking preventative measures, et cetera, the kind of things that, the PR people spin out for them. But Jim Farley at Ford actually said long term the tariffs could blow a hole in the U.S. market just because of the costs. Now, he said a couple of weeks they can take it. They're preparing for it for a few weeks. He's talking about long term, but long term, he said it's going to be a big mess if it keeps going.
All right, I'm not a wise man, Jeff, but if there are certain cars that are imported from Japan that are completely made in Japan and they're tariff free in from Japan, maybe we'll see a surge in Japanese automotive sales over the next couple of months.
You could very well see that, but, they've been making a lot of vehicles in the U.S., so there aren't that many of them.
Jeff, you are an invaluable resource. Thank you so much for your time. Any big news pops in the automotive industry, please keep us posted.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure talking to you.
There you go. Jeff Gilbert, WWJ, Detroit, Michigan, covers the automotive industry. All right, we're going to come back, update the markets, check in on our top local stories. Social media, active throughout the broadcast, at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
The guy at the desk next to you.
I've got a sense of humor.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
The driver of this vehicle is a better human being than you are.
He's Eric Von Hessler.
I'm here to tell you the truth.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Get 2 windows free with every 2 you buy. Pay no interest for 2 full years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
Dad, one more horsey ride, please.
This living room rodeo moment made possible by Emory Orthopedics and Spine Center. When Dad needed back surgery, he came to Emory. The difference? Emory's among the highest in patient satisfaction and best surgical outcome rates in the nation. And Emory uses the most advanced research developed by our top surgeons to get Dad's back surgery done right the first time. Giddy up. EmoryHealthcare.org/orthodifference.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. Many of these animals are rescued from desolate conditions. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. They help ensure that pets have a safe, warm shelter during times of need, especially during natural disasters. But pets need forever homes too. Adopting a shelter pet enriches the lives of one's family and allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work, including their efforts to rescue animals in need, certify the humane treatment of farm animals, help ensure the safety of animals on the silver screen, and protect our planet's amazing endangered species at AmericanHumane.org.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
9:50 on the Mark Arum Show. Checking delays on Georgia 400 live with the latest Mike Shields.
Yeah, brake lights filling in, Mark, with roadwork set up 400 southbound right at I-85. That's in the left lane right at the ramp to 85 southbound. So delays out of Buckhead into northeast Atlanta. You can always use Lennox or Piedmont. Work your way down to the Beaufort Spring Connector as an alternate. This support is brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free sky-high silver report and precious metals IRA guide to betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
You're listening to audio from Bourbon Street. Fat Tuesday, everybody. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. This is a big, important day for producer Deborah Green. Fat Tuesday, Ash Wednesday tomorrow, and you begin the period of Lent. Longoria is back with us, so I want you to make Longoria feel bad and tell him exactly what you're giving up for Lent this year.
Uh-oh. Okay, so I can't eat any meat, which is funny because people are like, what about chicken? No meat. No chicken, no pork, no anything, no meat at all.
Okay.
I don't have any sweets. Ooh. I can't have any alcohol. One of the biggest things, the hardest thing for me to give up is really difficult, though. It's zero internet shopping.
Oh.
No Amazon orders, nothing. That is the hardest thing for me to do.
Now, can you get around that and tell Gnocchi, hey, Gnocchi, order me these socks off of Etsy?
Yeah,
can somebody else order you stuff?
I mean, they can, but they probably shouldn't. I just got to go a couple days with that. Now, if it's an emergency, like I had to book a plane ticket somewhere, then sure, that's
then
okay. But yeah, none of my
All
8 million Amazon orders.
Longoria, our other Catholic on the crew.
Yeah.
What are you giving up?
So far, the only thing on my list is Dr. Pepper soda.
Okay.
But it every so often, Ash Wednesday falls right before my birthday, which is this weekend.
Oh.
And so I don't want to give up sweets because then I can't have cake. I know that's kind of bad, but so I'm trying to come up with some other stuff.
We'll do Longoria Monday.
Oh, that would be hard.
Yeah, you're not giving up Legos.
I
we'll
could.
work on it. I don't want to put you on the spot. Welcome back, Longoria. Severe weather might be impacting. We mentioned one of the parades was canceled today. Hope everyone stays safe there. Speaking of that severe weather, it is going to hit Metro Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards continuously updating her full 5-day forecast. Before we get back to the tariffs news and the president's speech tonight, the end of Ukraine aid from the U.S. I mean, I got to say thank you to a guest in studio. Bill Sudlow of Sudlow Concrete in Tucker joins us live in studio. Bill and his outfit, Sudlow Concrete, made a huge, generous donation to the WSB Carathon for the Mark Arum Show home broadcast. But you are representing your company. So it wouldn't have been the same. So we invited you to come in studio and hang out with us, and we're going to go out to lunch after. But Bill, thank you so much for your generous donation. I really appreciate it. And great to see you again, my friend. We had met in the past at the Mark Arum Show listener lunch.
Yes.
And the website, sudlowconcrete.com. I'm trying to get a deal right now from Bill because the concrete on my driveway is cracking and might be. I'm going to shoot you some pictures and let me know. But what else does Sudlow Concrete do, and what services do you offer?
We specialize in driveway replacement, driveway repair, retaining walls, patios, things for homeowners.
Okay. Do you want to hear a sad story?
Sure.
So growing up in Connecticut, for whatever reason, my parents I have no complaints about my parents, save this one. We had my entire childhood, we had a dirt driveway. No concrete, no asphalt, nothing, just a dirt driveway. And it's impossible to play basketball on a dirt driveway. No basketball hoop, nothing. I move away to college. The first thing my dad does is get the driveway paved. I was begging him for 15 years. Can we do, like, not even the whole thing? Just give me a little piece so I can play. Is that a sad story? No, just in my head. Do you ever have to go out and see a dirt driveway and say, all right, we're going to asphalt this puppy?
I see a few gravel driveways.
Okay.
There are not a lot of them in the
wish it
metro
was
Atlanta
gravel.
area.
It
but,
was dirt and mud and rocks anyway. All right. If my mom's listening, if you need the driveway taken care of, Mom, I don't know if they'll service you in Tucker. From Tucker up to Connecticut, but it's sudlowconcrete.com. Bill Sudlow made a huge donation. Bill, we're going to chat a little bit more in the show, but I wanted to thank you for coming in, and thanks so much. All right, I just pulled some audio talking about the tariffs that went into effect today between the United States, Mexico, and Canada and China. We heard just a couple of minutes ago that the president of Mexico says she will implement reciprocal tariffs. She'll announce them on Tuesday. We just heard from the Premier of Ontario. And I don't know, Deborah, is that like the mayor, the governor? Do we have any idea what the Premier of Ontario?
The Premier? I think, is it Premier? I
Premier.
believe they say. Yeah, kind of like the mayor.
All right, so the mayor, he was just on CNN talking about hitting back on these American tariffs.
Well, first of all, I have to tell you, Canadians love Americans. We love the U.S. It's one person that's causing these problems. I've talked to senators and congresspeople and governors, Republicans and Democrats. Not one of them agree with them. I've talked to business CEOs of the largest companies. They totally disagree with this. And President Trump ran on a mandate to lower costs, to create more jobs. This is going to do exactly the opposite. The auto sector, we buy over 400 autos than Mexico, 200% more than anywhere in the world. And you know, he put up a smoke screen. He keeps moving the goalposts. Well, the market is speaking loud and clear. The market is going to go downhill faster than the American bobsled team, and we're going to continue seeing in the U.S. plants close, assembly lines shut down. In the auto sector, they may last 5, maybe 8 days before the parts that go back and forth across the border 8 times. This is unnecessary. And we do have to retaliate. And I apologize to the American people. It's not you. It's your president that's causing this problem. We're the #1 customer in the world to the United States. We had a great relationship. I want to continue on with that relationship. But I will use every tool in our toolbox to send a message to President Trump that this is the wrong thing to do. When Warren Buffett comes out and says this is basically insanity, you have to listen to someone like Warren Buffett.
There you go. Don Ford, Premier. Premier, how do you pronounce it, Deborah? Premier of Ontario. Premier? Like the Premier League in soccer. Premier of Ontario reacting to the tariffs that went into effect today against Mexico, Canada, and China, and they are already firing it back. And the markets don't like uncertainty. They are all down. The Dow down 1.3%, S&P down 1.2%, NASDAQ down 0.96%. We'll update the markets and our top local stories when we come back. It's the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
Take advantage of Zero-Res Air Duct Cleaning spring sale and remove the dust from your home. Mention me, Chris Chandler, for $50 off your air duct cleaning. Use code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero-Res, it's the right way to clean.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Are you facing a fork in the road? and deciding between continuing your career and retirement? I'm Wes Moss, host of Money Matters, and this massive life decision shouldn't be taken lightly. Talk with my team if you'd like help reviewing your retirement accounts and building a financial plan. We can help you review options and offer an opinion based on your best interests. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Broken tent, magazines, old honey jars. Spring cleaning is a time to get organized. Kick your spring cleaning into gear and save when you choose Scana Energy as your natural gas provider. They have options for every family. Right now, you can even get up to $100 when you sign up. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/100 for details. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you noticed water, mold, or rot in your crawl space? How about sagging floors over your crawl space? There's a good chance your crawl space has issues. The experts at AquaGuard Foundation Solutions can help. Visit aquaguard.net for your free inspection now. Remember, AquaGuard.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Dr. Roof. Let's start with your money. Stocks are dropping this morning as companies warn that Trump tariffs likely mean higher prices for consumers and lower sales. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow down 572 at 42,563. So the Dow is down almost 1.5%. NASDAQ's down more than 1.5%, and so is the S&P. So that's how your money's looking on the markets. So now that these new tariffs are being slapped on nearly all goods from Mexico, Canada, and China, how will this impact you directly? Instead of your markets and your money investments there, business correspondent Elizabeth Schultz says it's going to mean you're going to pay more for everything from cars to fresh produce. So when might we see these price hikes?
If these tariffs stay in place, economists expect you could start to see price hikes by Memorial Day. For groceries, it could be within weeks or even days. About 63% of U.S. vegetable imports come from Mexico. Think bell peppers, cucumbers, strawberries, tomatoes, limes, avocados, a lot of that fresh produce. And grocers, they can't really stockpile those foods in advance.
And she says the tariffs could also mean higher gas prices. Now, tonight, President Trump will be addressing Congress for the first time since returning to office. White House correspondent Mary Bruce following that from Washington.
The White House says the theme of the president's address tonight will be the renewal of the American dream, and they're promoting this as must-see TV. Meanwhile, Democratic Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan, a swing state that Trump won, will deliver the official Democratic response. She's expected to reach out to working-class Americans and push back on the president's firings and cuts to the federal government.
Now, you will hear live coverage of the president's address tonight, as well as the Democratic response, starting at 9 o'clock right here on 95.5 WSB. Let's talk about your weather. Increasing clouds and breezy today. Your high around 70, but then there's the possibility of severe weather overnight. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards has the timeline.
Between midnight and 5 a.m., the squall line will push through metro Atlanta.
And we'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Also, you might want to go ahead and download the WSB radio app for any weather alerts that come in. This is Fat Tuesday. Correspondent Katie Wise is in New Orleans this morning, where security has been ramped up following the New Year's terror truck attack in the French Quarter.
There have been historic security measures taking place here this year. The city is on lockdown with hundreds of federal agents here in the city to make sure that people can party safely.
And in the city of New Orleans, police said that the timing of today's parade has been adjusted, and police warned that they'll cancel the events if any of those winds from the storms we were telling you about become a factor and even higher than anticipated. Hundreds of wildfires continuing to burn across the Carolinas, the biggest near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's burned more than 2,000 acres and remains largely uncontrolled. This woman lives in the area.
Experience and seeing what we saw, the fact that no one's homes were taken from us, I would say that, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a miracle.
At least 15 houses and buildings have been damaged by a wildfire just across the line in Robinson County, North Carolina. Rain and severe storms in the forecast for the Carolinas tomorrow. I checked with the Pickens County Police Department, police office today. They tell me that they still have not located that hit-and-run driver who left a bicyclist seriously injured over the weekend. That driver facing some serious charges, according to Captain Chris Leak with the Pickens County Sheriff's Office.
It's serious injury, hit and run. And that is a felony offense.
All right, so they are looking for a dark-colored passenger car with front-end damage. Anybody with information being asked to call the Pickens County Police. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frascas in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at your roads this Tuesday morning.
Good morning, Sabrina. Starting to stack up again on the downtown connector 7585 northbound from University Avenue. We got a stalled double tractor trailer in the right lane near the Peachtree Pine Street exit. Road work is what's slowing you up in Duluth. 85 south around Sugarloaf Parkway. They're working in a couple of right lanes. Really slow, leaving Buckhead 400 south. Road work in the left lane at I-85. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy and breezy today, high near 70. Wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour this afternoon. Rain and storms don't arrive until closer to midnight. They'll move through the metro region through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Damaging wind gusts would be the main impacts. Drying out tomorrow afternoon, still breezy, high 65.
It is 53 degrees right now in Marietta, 52 in Sandy Springs and Buckhead. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Whole family with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria on the other side of the takeout window. Young Yoki screens your calls. 30 minutes from now, Scott Slade's going to join us live talking about a cold case murder in DeKalb County. We'll go in depth on the tariff situation, watching the markets right now as tariffs are in effect right now. Canada, Mexico, and China. We are seeing reciprocal tariffs, and that has given us some market jitters. Let me check the stock market. Dow is down 566 points. NASDAQ down 250. Is this a short-term negotiating move, or is this something that will impact us long-term here in Metro Atlanta? I should mention today's edition of the Mark Arum Show brought to you by Sudlow Concrete. By the way, not just in Tucker, locations in Marietta, Alpharetta, Tucker, and Atlanta online at sudlowconcrete.com. Bill Sudlow joins us live in studio, made a tremendous donation to the WSB Carathon. And he brought in donuts, Longoria, our guest.
I know, I heard.
Brought in donuts.
I'm going.
Good thing it happened before Lent, and you don't have to give them up.
There you go.
So again, thank you, Bill. Sudlowconcrete.com, and I'm trying to get him business. Rick, our engineer, just came in to fix something for me, and he lives in Tucker with me, so he's going to have Bill check out his driveway as well. I do want to get to a headline that's been kind of buried. I didn't really talk about it in the first hour of the show. President Trump announcing yesterday he is going to turn off the funding spigot to Ukraine. No more U.S. Support financially of Ukraine. Getting reaction now this morning in Kyiv. Nick Payton-Walsh from CNN.
Yeah, there is no more seismic move, frankly, the Trump administration can make other than pausing this aid. How much? Well, Ukraine appears to rely on, depending on who you're listening to, anything between 40% to 20% of its military aid from the United States. It's trying to get down to 20 at least, but it's the kind of aid that is so utterly important. We understand that intelligence sharing, that's utterly vital for Ukraine's forces to know what the Russians are planning against them. That does continue, it seems, at this stage. But utterly vital are the air defense Patriot missiles. Only the United States can provide them, and Ukraine's Prime Minister was utterly clear that's a key part of what they need, and Zelensky himself has said every morning, frankly, they wake up and count how many they have to stop Russia's ballistic missiles. That is utterly key. Now, also important in this is the fact that there wasn't much clarity as to whether the Trump administration was going to increase its own funding militarily towards Ukraine. I think they argue a peace deal would make that unnecessary. So this is essentially about freezing out or slowing down the remnants of Biden authorizations that were still trickling their way towards Ukraine. But it sends a huge seismic blow to Ukrainian morale here, because all the talk, the rhetoric, the theatre of the past 2 weeks has left people here dizzy, frankly, but this is an actual immediate practical consequence. Now, of course, there'll be a lack of clarity as to some of these issues when they become critical or not, but we did know that roundabout in the summer, Ukrainian officials were concerned about a shortage of ammunition. That may become more acute. Yes, drones do a lot of the fighting on the front line here, but be in no doubt, this is a hammer blow to Ukraine, and it leaves President Zelensky in a very complicated bind, because it is clear that Trump officials want to see him apologize in some way, possibly publicly. It's clear they want him to sign up to a rare earth minerals deal, but within that, there's no promise of aid or security guarantees. And it's also clear now that they need to be committed to peace. But it's the kind of peace, frankly, that's the big question here. Ukraine and its European allies say that without security guarantees to protect Ukraine if Russia refits, replenishes and attacks again, a peace is rushed and meaningless and works in Moscow's favor. So Zelensky basically has to apologize, do everything the White House wants, for no obvious immediate gain on his side, apart from the continued good graces of the US president. It's an exceptionally hard choice, but this morning, Ukrainians again waking up to the unimaginable happening before their eyes.
Nick Payton-Walsh in Kyiv this morning. Now, again, you have to wonder if President Trump is just using this cessation of aid to Ukraine as a negotiating ploy, or is this a long-term thing? Now, I don't know what he can do as president because this funding had already been approved by the prior Congress. So I don't know if he's within his rights to say no more funding. But obviously with the new Congress, the Republican-controlled Congress, any future aid can be cut off. But I don't know if he can stop aid that has already been approved. But again, is this just him, using another negotiating tactic to bring Zelensky back to sign that rare earth minerals deal, to sign a ceasefire deal, and end the fighting in Ukraine between them and Russia? George Beebe is the director of Grand Strategy Program at the Quincy Institute for Responsible Statecraft.
The people that believe that the path forward is simply to continue this war effort, that Russia sooner or later will be forced to capitulate, don't understand the realities of the situation on the ground. The Russians are fighting a war of attrition. That means they are wearing out Ukraine's ability to put a well-trained, well-equipped fighting force in the field.
We're waiting to see what happens in reaction from the European Union to President Trump saying no more aid to Ukraine. Obviously, a very big, important story, the Russia-Ukraine war, and the possibility of getting that rare earth mineral deal signed, a ceasefire deal. Any updates on that story, we'll bring it to you live. Now, what will be the political impact for President Trump with all that's going on in the news now, with the tariffs, with the stock market, with the Russia-Ukraine war, on the heels of him addressing the joint houses of Congress tonight? What, if any, political fallout could the president incur because of all the fast-moving news stories right now? I'll tell you what I think next on the Mark Air Show.
Traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The local folks at Breda Pest Management know my house inside and out, and they've customized a unique plan that stops bugs and critters. Hey friends, it's Mark Aram. With Breda, it's always a familiar local person servicing my home and answering my calls. Never an irritating automated call center. Breda cares more. They're our neighbors, and they'll work harder for you. Doing it better is what the Breda family does. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 888-471-3896. That's 888-471-3896. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
We've all got one, and there's never just one thing on it. Your home improvement to-do list. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus. The Plus covers everything on your list. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, the owner of Painting Plus. We do it all, and we do it right. Trust the Plus family of businesses for everything on your list.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Hey folks, it's Shelley Winter here. You know, sometimes they make fun of me around the office because I doze off at my desk while doing show prep. Well, you know why that happened? It's because of a lack of sleep. I have sleep apnea. So if you snore or have sleep apnea also, you're not living life to the fullest. So listen up. I know you're tired, but in all seriousness, this is important. My friends over at Palmetto Sleep are changing lives with a custom-fit oral appliance that stops your snoring and treats sleep apnea. I'm not talking about something you buy out of a supermarket. This is a custom-made for your mouth and covered by your private medical insurance. What I love most is that they do everything from the diagnosis to the delivery of the oral appliance and everything in between. They even provide a take-home sleep study and virtual consults. If you're ready for a great night's sleep, you're ready for Palmetto Sleep. Go to palmettosleep.com. That's palmettosleep.com right now. Don't suffer from another sleepless night. PalmettoSleep.com.
This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. A few years back, there was a surge of online mattress companies offering a one-feel-fits-all mattress. Eventually, they all added more selections. Why? They discovered what we've known for over 30 years. Everyone has unique preferences. At the Original Mattress Factory, we handled a range of comfort choices so that you can select the one that suits you best. Don't rely on someone else's opinion. Try out a variety of options and find the one that's right for you. OriginalMattress.com.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Our weather can be crazy. Dry for days and drenched with storms, extreme heat to bitter cold, and your roof takes all the abuse. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your roof has problems, it may be showing you signs. Inside, look for wet spots on the ceiling or walls. Outside, check for streaks and stains or granules in the ground. If you find these, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issues, and they offer 0% financing. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof.
Yeah, 10:17 on the Mark Arum Show. Construction delays around town. Live with the latest, our very own Ashley Frasca.
When you leave Swanee, be careful of crews working in the right lanes. 85 south at Sugarloaf Parkway, and still a little bit of a crowd making your way past Pleasant Hill Road. Georgia 400 south, very, very slow. Crews are in the left lane down around Sidney Marcus and I-85, and also set up construction on the collector distributor ramp, making your way off of 285 onto I-20 east to Wesley Chapel. Traffic brought to you by the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health. Fentanyl hides in places you wouldn't expect. Your meds, a friend's pill, anywhere. If it's not from a pharmacy, test it first. One strip could save your life. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
A lot of economists are kind of penciling in the idea that the inflation rate, which now stands at about 3%, that's going to drift up maybe to 3.5%, maybe even 4%.
CBS News analyst, business analyst Jill Schlesinger covering the big tariff story this morning. In case you're just joining us, tariffs go into effect today. They're in effect with our trading partners of Mexico, Canada, and China. China and Mexico and Canada have already announced retaliatory facts. Quick fact check. I'm so sorry. My ignorance came out, Deborah. The Canadian premier is roughly equivalent to a state's governor, not mayor. That's from Cat Guy on Twitter, and his name is Doug Ford, not Don Ford. But so just some clarification on Mr. Ford and his role. So it's like a governorship. He's like the Governor Kemp of Ontario, not the Mayor Dickens of. So thank you for that, Cat Guy. Thanks to Bill Sudlow of Sudlow Concrete and Tucker sponsoring the show today. Huge donation to the WSB Carathon. 25 years in the business, specializing in driveways. Online at sudlowconcrete.com. Locations, Mayretta, Alpharetta, Tucker, and Atlanta. That's sudlowconcrete.com. All right, so with all these fast-moving stories, that's the question I keep hearing from friends, coworkers, family. Is President Trump going to feel any political backlash if we have to start paying more for our heads of lettuce or our T-shirts or our cars if these tariffs come in place? Will he face any political backlash if Russia takes over Ukraine? Traditionally, historically, yeah, probably. But listen, Donald Trump is a unicorn. President Trump is an absolute unicorn in the game of life, let alone politics. The dude's a unicorn. But not only his unicorn status will insulate him, the fact that this is it. He's not running again. I know he's teasing a third term, but he can't run again. He has no more elections. So he can take political shrapnel left, right, and center. Doesn't matter. He's not running for anything ever again. He wants to rebuild this nation, this world in his vision. And it doesn't matter if, Republican congressmen and women in swing states are going to take a hit. He's got 2 years to get everything he wants done. So, yeah, there might be some folks that have buyer's remorse and, voted for President Trump and now go, oh, I was a federal worker, I lost my job, or, oh, the tariffs are going to increase the cost of my household by $2,000. He is insulated from any political pushback for the next 2 years. Now, there might be, some politicians, some Republican politicians that might eventually be feeling the pressure. We've seen some of those town halls where they're getting shouted down. They are going to feel the political pinch, but President Trump is a unicorn, Teflon Don, and he's never running again for anything. He's got 2 years at a minimum, and maybe 4 years if the Republicans can hold the House and the Senate to reshape this nation how he wants it to be. Polling numbers, he doesn't give a flying fazooch. That's my dad's term. Flying, I think it's appropriate for the air. He doesn't give a flying fazooch about poll numbers. For what? He's not running for re-election. After this term, he's not going to run for mayor of New York City or the governor of New York or the mayor of Mar-a-Lago. He doesn't care about poll numbers, and he shouldn't. Put yourself in his position. If you knew this was it, your last term ever, are you going to care if your poll numbers dip? No. So there might be political fallout, but it's not going to fall on his shoulders. You might get antsy. J.D. Vance, he might start getting a little antsy because he wants to run in 2028, and he doesn't want to catch shrapnel. So he might be a little, uncomfortable and might do, one of those little collar tugs and be like, oh, all right, we got to slow it down, buddy. But President Trump, nah, there's no, listen, he should not care what his poll numbers are because he's never running for office again. That's what I think. So I think, the markets drop, he's fine. Poll numbers drop, he's fine. European backlash, he's fine. He's never running again. There's no political blowback for President Trump. He is the president, and he's going to address both houses of Congress tonight. We will carry this speech live here on 95.5 WSB, and I believe we are going to cover the Democratic response. No one's corrected me. I've said it like 5 times on the air. I would figure.
I just came back today. I have no idea what's going on.
I figured Ken would have said, Aaron, we're not doing that. But we traditionally carry the speech and then the opposing party's response. I suspect we'll carry them both today. What might we expect from the president's speech? Let's go to the White House, Elena Treen.
It's going to be, we know that the White House is saying that the theme of this is the renewal of the American dream. They also have laid out some key topics that he wants to get through. One, though, I know is that when I talk to White House officials and Trump administration officials about this, they say it's going to be a speech that is very heavy on domestic policy. You can expect him to walk through some of the major gutting and slashing of the federal workforce, his push to try to reshape it in his image. We know DOGE is going to be a topic of conversation. Elon Musk is going to be in the room for this address, but he also is going to talk about the economy. Again, we're talking about tariffs. That will come up tonight, but also, this idea, as you you have Senate and House Republicans still kind of trying to grapple with what this budget will look like, how to implement some of his economic priorities, including the renewal of the 2017 tax cuts. That's supposed to come up. Of course, immigration and border security. And then also, I think this is the big one that many people are looking for, is what will his rhetoric be and look like as it relates to foreign wars? We know that, of course, one of the biggest things right now is how is he going to be messaging on Ukraine, particularly after we saw the White House move to pause all aid on Ukraine yesterday.
There you go, Lanny Trine at the White House. Markets, again, don't even log in to the 401k today or the IRA. Dow down 700 points, S&P 100, NASDAQ 360. Will President Trump address the stock market tonight? You'll find out live here on 95.5 WSB. I know Trump graduated from Wharton Business School. I think that University of Pennsylvania was his undergrad degree. Deborah Green, what are the 15 most applied to colleges in these United States of America?
15 most applied to colleges. I think we're all proud of number 15 as we have some alum in the building, and that is Georgia Tech. Greatest meteorologist in the world from Georgia Tech. Yep, 15 most applied to colleges.
Let me stop you there for a second,
States.
Deborah. That surprises me because I know it's so tough to get into, right? If I applied to Georgia Tech in 1991, they would have said return to sender. They wouldn't even have opened it. They would have stamped it return to sender. So I'm surprised. All right, 15 Georgia Tech. What else?
Yeah, well, it doesn't say they're accepted. It just says they're applied to. So there you go. Number 14th is Cornell. Number 13 is Boston University. I know nobody that went to Boston University. Yeah, BU.
All right.
Number 12, Florida State University.
Really?
No comment.
Safety school. I get it. Okay.
Maybe that's what it is. Number 11 is California State at Long Beach. You go there just for the scenery, I think. Number 10 is South Carolina.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
I know there's some South Carolinians listening. No comment on that. Yes.
Number 9 is, again, another California school, this time Berkeley. I do know a couple kids that went to Berkeley and they loved it. Number 8 kind of surprised me, Northeastern University.
Also in Boston. Fine establishment. Okay.
Okay. Number 7, Michigan, University of Michigan Wolverines.
Don't they have the biggest enrollment? Is Michigan? I think no, they don't. All right.
No, I think they do, yeah.
I'm getting a no from our in-studio audience.
Oh,
Tracy.
okay.
All right, it's in the top 5, though, as far as enrollment. All right,
it's number 7. Number 6 is Santa Barbara. Number 5, I'm sure you're familiar with this, New York University. I'm sure you hung out with a lot of those kids when you were in New York.
My dad went to grad school at NYU, yeah.
Oh, there we go. Number 4, back to California with UC Davis. Number 3, also California. This is California at Irvine. Number 2, a California school, San Diego. And number 1, California, UCLA.
Is the number 1 most applied to school? That's interesting.
Number 1 most applied to school.
That's just kids wanting nice weather, right? That
was like our intern, right? Our intern was in school.
And I guess California is the most populous state, so I guess that makes. All right, Georgia Tech, 15th most applied to, number 1 on rejections. I think all of us would have been rejected at Georgia Tech, but Christina Edwards got in, and she's going to update her 5-day forecast in just minutes. Quick break. When we come back, Scott Slade's good to join us live, talking about a cold case out of DeKalb County. Again, today's Mark Arum Show brought to you by Sudlow Concrete, online at sudlowconcrete.com. Locations around the metro: Atlanta, Tucker, Alpharetta, and Marietta.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Save big on Post cereal or Kroger brand peanut butter. Select varieties are only $1.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Atlanta DIY landlords, listen up. If you're exhausted from managing your rental properties all by yourself, my friends at Renters Warehouse Atlanta offering a 90-day test drive. Hire Renters Warehouse to manage your rental property for a low flat monthly fee as low as $115. If you're not satisfied at any time in the first 3 months, you can fire them. Get your management fees back. What do you get for that low flat monthly fee? A dedicated property management team, maintenance coordination, move in and move out property condition reports, advanced advanced tenant screening with a 9-month tenant warranty, professional photography and videography, lease renewal processing and negotiations, online rent collection, monthly owner cash flow statements, and more. Renters Warehouse, so confident you'll love their service, they want an addition for your business. Choice is yours. Keep DIYing or see how Renters Warehouse can make your life easier. Start your 90-day test drive today. Go to rwatlanta.com or call 404-662-2322, 404-662-2322.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News.
Weather.
Traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. President Trump's long-threatened tariffs against Canada and Mexico are now in effect. They're kicking off a trade war. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says this could result in higher prices.
We've just gone through this inflationary surge. We're not back to where we want to be. Now we see inflation go up again. I think this probably explains why people are very unnerved by the idea of prices drifting up.
And she says the inflation rate expected to drift up as high as 4%. A new analysis finds some car prices could jump by as much as $10,000 under the new Trump administration tariffs on goods from Mexico, Canada, and China. Brian Moody with the Kelley Blue Book telling WSB even if cars are assembled here in the United States, they're likely made up of parts from other countries.
You could argue that the way around this is for certain automakers to build more of their cars here in the U.S. That worked in the 70s and 80s, and that was the intention of the Reagan and Clinton administrations.
He also says that the tariffs will impact about 40% of affordable or lower priced cars. So stocks are getting hammered on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial Average falling more than 500 points as President Trump's tariffs take effect. Stocks are under pressure following Monday's sharp sell-off, with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ also down nearly 1% at times in early trading. And speaking of Trump, the theme of President Trump's address tonight to the joint session of Congress will be the renewal of the American dream.
The White House says the address will feature 4 main points: President Trump's accomplishments at home and abroad, plus his plans for the economy, global peace, and border security. Kennesaw State political scientist Kerwin Swint says it'll be an opportunity, but also a risk.
He's going to have obviously friendly Republicans in there, but a lot of unhappy Democrats, and we'll see whether Democrats are going to make a show of it or not, whether there are boos or catcalls.
Democrats will deliver a response to the address. Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
And we will have live coverage of both addresses starting tonight at 9 right here on 95.5 WSB and on the WSB radio app. It's a good time to go ahead and download the WSB radio app and turn on your weather alerts. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards is tracking a storm system that's going to arrive here after midnight.
So while a lot of us are trying to sleep, Mother Nature's going to be picking up the winds, gusting as high as 60 miles per hour, and that may be high enough to knock down a few trees and power lines just in time for tomorrow's commute.
And in fact, a wind advisory going into effect at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Check back for the latest watches and warnings here on 95.5 WSB. Here's an odd story out of Gwinnett County this morning. You want to make sure that you lock your doors, all of them, even the basement. Police are searching for a man who went into a home on Cannings Lake Court in Lawrenceville. He walked in through an unlocked basement door. Once inside, he went ahead and took a shower. Then he left with a key to the house, a lighter, and a knife. The homeowner confronted him, but the man took off. Police have now released pictures of that suspect. He's an older white man, slender build, with a tattoo on his upper right arm. Anyone with information being asked to call Gwinnett County Police. We do have an update on Pope Francis this morning. Terry Moran has more from Vatican City.
Vatican says today that the Pope slept well through the night and is resting today, this quiet morning.
comes after the Pope was struck yesterday by those 2 episodes of acute respiratory failure. That is a term that the Vatican has not used. Francis's oxygen levels plunged at that time.
Now, the Pope was admitted to that hospital there in Rome on February 14th. As we take a look at the markets, we are in the red. The Dow's down almost 1.5%. NASDAQ and S&P are down more than 1.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca has a look at your roads on this Tuesday morning.
Construction crews are very busy working around Metro Atlanta, 400 southbound. Before you get to I-85, leaving Buckhead, you see delays with left lane road work there, and crews are working in 2 right lanes. 85 south as you roll into Duluth before Sugarloaf Parkway, and just cleared a crash off to the side on the connector 75-85 northbound near I-20. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy and breezy today, high near 70, wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Heavy rain and thunderstorms arrive after midnight, sweeping through the metro region through 5 a.m. Damaging wind gusts may knock down trees and power lines for early tomorrow morning. Drying out tomorrow afternoon, though still cloudy and breezy, high 65.
It is 56 degrees in South Fulton, 53 in Canton, Dunwoody. You have 54 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News, hoping with Paws Atlanta to find a home for our WSB Dog of the Month, Goldfish. 3-year-old Pitty, displaced after the Biolab fire, loved a good belly rub when he came to visit us. Meet him at WSBRadio.com/dog, and our sponsor Finley Roofing will pay the adoption fees for Goldfish's new human. WSBRadio.com/dog.
Celebrating Fat Tuesday on Bourbon Street. When we come back, we'll celebrate Scott Slade. He joins us live in 2 minutes on The Mark Arum Show. Buckle up, friends. I've got a jaw-dropping deal from my pals at Reliable. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Check this out, folks. You can get a free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying air conditioner. Unbelievable. Get your free consultation by going to ReliableAir.com. That's ReliableAir.com, and check it out. Next day installation guarantee, or they pay you $500. Free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying air conditioner. ReliableAir.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the buy two, get two free and pay nothing until 2027. Offer ending soon, only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
10:37 on this fast-moving Tuesday edition of the Mark Arum Show, brought to you by Sudlow Concrete. SudlowConcrete.com. No job too big. No job too small. SudlowConcrete.com. Services, Tucker, locations, Marietta, Alpharetta, Tucker, and Atlanta. Online at SudlowConcrete.com. 25 years in the biz, servicing the metro Atlanta area. Made a huge donation to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, WSB Carathon. And Bill and Aaron joining me in studio. If you want to watch, they are way better looking than I am. You can see on the live stream at WSBRadio.com. Speaking of the Carathon, the father of the WSB Carathon joins us live, as he does every Tuesday at the time, Mr. Scott Slade. Scott, good morning, my friend.
Mark, good morning. I hope you're well today. And I'd forget the French for let the good times roll, but let the good times roll.
I know two phrases in French and none I can repeat on the air, so I will cede to your Frenchness.
Okay, yeah, le roll bon temps, something or other.
There you go.
All right, so yeah, well, this is a fascinating story. The DeKalb County double murder case. Mark, this stretches back 35 years, and it's finally going to trial this week in Decatur. The jury selection's underway for the trial of Kenneth Perry, facing 2 charges of malice murder and a lot of other charges. And let me set the stage here for you on this. According to the police investigation, July 15th, 1990, DeKalb officers respond to the report of a person stabbed at an apartment complex in Stone Mountain. They find Pamela Sumter at a neighbor's apartment. She was visibly injured and said she had been raped and stabbed. Ms. Sumter told officers that her brother, John Sumter, had been stabbed as well. His body was found at the Sumter's apartment next door. About 3 weeks later, Pamela Sumter died from her injuries, but not before police were able to obtain a DNA sample from the assault. Now, keep in mind, this all happened in 1990, Mark.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 2023 that the rape kit was analyzed by the latest DNA technology, and a male DNA profile was identified and uploaded into Georgia's statewide DNA database. But there was no match at the state level. In October of 2023, the DA's office, the DeKalb DA's office, received the Prosecuting Cold Cases Using DNA grant from the Department of Justice, a federal grant, and there was a match several states away to a DNA sample from an unprosecuted sexual assault case in Detroit, Michigan. And finally, in June of 2024, Kenneth Perry was taken into custody. A fresh DNA sample from Perry was a match to DNA collected in the 1990 rape and murders in Stone Mountain. Now, this stretches from Georgia to Michigan,
Wow.
and it's, 35 years. That's almost 2 generations. And that's where we pick up the story with DeKalb DA Sherry Boston, Mark. This case goes back to July of 1990.
Yes, it does. And, we are really proud of the work that we're getting to do with a grant that we got through BJA, the federal government, to help prosecute cold cases using DNA. And so we were able, when we applied for this grant, we were able to show that we had a number of unsolved cases, as well as a number of unidentified human remains. But in this particular case, there was some DNA evidence that we had, but that we could not link to anyone. The issue with DNA is if it's great if you have a sample that to compare it to against someone in the system. But we know that since this incident happened in the 90s, science has evolved and changed. And so as a result, we were able to take this sample and use genetic genealogy to help us determine a link or a lead that might help us find the person responsible for this double homicide and sexual assault of this brother and sister. And so we took all of that information, we ran it through, we got some leads, and then our investigators got to work. And as a result, we were able to identify Kenneth Perry as the person that we believed committed this double homicide and sexual assault, and hold him accountable and bring closure to a family that had lost 2 siblings and had never had the ability to have justice in that case.
In this case, it gets Kenneth Perry. It wound up stretching across, gosh, it looks like about half of America, didn't it?
That's, I'm sorry, Scott.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Perry had been, we were able to show that he was in Georgia at that time, but he'd left Georgia and was living in another state and then came back to Georgia. So yes, Mr. Perry was out here living a very normal life. And what we want to continue to say is that we will continue to try to hold people accountable. It doesn't matter if the murder happened yesterday or if the murder happened 30 years ago. As you all know, there is no statute of limitations on the prosecution of a murder case. So as science evolves, as investigative techniques evolve, we are going to continue to make sure that those cases are investigated and prosecuted, and we're going to hold those offenders to the highest level of the law.
And for what you're saying, it sounds like there are more cases pending in DeKalb County through the prosecuting cold cases using DNA grant. Is that fair to say?
Yes, every day we are continuing to uncover new leads, links, and resources, and we have been very successful and continue to make arrests and build cases that can now be prosecuted despite the length of time that these cases have been around.
Mark, that's just fascinating. And as DA Boston says, that there's more where this came from. And, I hope that federal grant doesn't dry up. Jury selection in the Kenneth Perry trial is underway and could finish today. And, we'll have to see what happens next there.
That's a couple of follow-up questions. A remarkable story. Is that, to your knowledge, the coldest case that's ever been revived in DeKalb County? I mean, that's 34 years.
Yeah. No, I don't know. But that's a great question. It wouldn't surprise me if there's some that are even older. I mean, there's been state legislation that to deal with the backlog of what they call rape kits that are on the shelves of the medical examiners all over Georgia, especially in metro Atlanta. So it very well could be something that's older.
The suspect, Kenneth Perry, obviously he's pleading, he pled not guilty, which is why this is going to trial. I can only imagine, being on the run for, he's alleged, not convicted, but being on the run for 34 years, you think you're in the free and clear. And then all of a sudden you get this grant. And boom, the authorities knock on your door. Remarkable stuff.
And he was coming and going from metro Atlanta during all this time.
Unbelievable.
So we'll see what they'll finish. Sometimes when jury selection's done, a defense attorney will say, well, we're taking a look at the jury and we'd like to talk to you about a deal, or, who knows what. I mean, that's up in the air at this point. But right now, the jury selection process is underway and could very well finish this afternoon.
Wow. Thanks for highlighting. Scott, I had no idea about that story. If you don't mind, pass along DA Boston's contact info to me. I'd love to get her on when this court goes to trial and eventually we get a verdict. That's an amazing story.
I'll do that, sir.
Scott, what's coming up on Scott Slays Georgia this Thursday?
I think you're going to like this because I love this story. The vanishing Southern accent, especially the Georgia accent. Where is it going and who's responsible? Thursday morning.
I am not responsible. In fact, my mom says I am developing a Southern accent, y'all.
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? It's all about the company you keep.
I'm a linguist at heart, so I can't wait to that. Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News. Scott, as always, a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much.
It's always mine, Mark. Thank you.
Quick break. When we come back, Ukraine aid shut off. We'll get the latest from Bloomberg News next on The Mark Arum Show.
Some of what the Navy reports defies the laws of physics.
The opinions expressed are his.
And I mean that very seriously.
And that's what makes you listen.
We may have to do more.
Eric Erickson.
Today, starting at noon.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. And I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
See this garage door? I gotta be honest with you. It's ugly. I mean,
successful, attractive homeowner like you, it's time to move on. This is not the garage door your parents thought you'd spend the rest of your life with. And that ain't true with everything in life, don't get me wrong. I mean, honey, if you're listening, you can't divorce me just because I'm no longer the handsome stud you married. But your garage door? The neighbors all think you can totally do better. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Let us show you how many sexy new alternatives there are. Just waiting for someone like you. You swipe right on a beautiful new design, we install everything in a lovely ceremony, and you and your new garage door live happily ever after. For better, not worse. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. Call Mo Better Garage and we'll come make it right. Maybe I should pick up some flowers on the way home.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
It won't be that long before school gets out. And if you're thinking about buying a new home this summer, now is the time to get the ball rolling. This is Scott Slade. My friends at MyLand always recommend getting pre-approved before starting to shop for your next home. Make sure you know how much you can afford and have your financing ready to make an offer when you find your dream home. MyLand is who I recommend for all home financing needs, whether it's a second mortgage, cash out refinance, or purchase of a new home. They even have a great new product that allows you to qualify for an investment or rental property without personal income documents. Whatever type of mortgage you need, MyLand will close your loan fast without issues and headaches and make sure you have the best rate in town. Call MyLand, 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spelled it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS and Georgia Mortgage Licensee 148769, located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLand is an equal housing lender.
Time changes, season changes. March is a busy month. Dave Baker here for Coolray. Now is the perfect time to get your heating and cooling system tuned up. Coolray will tune up your system for just $79 or get up to $2,250 in rebates on a new Carrier heating and cooling system that comes with the lifetime parts and labor warranty. Simply schedule your appointment online today at Coolray.com. Just pick the time and day that works best for you. Coolray and Carrier. Turn to the experts.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Estella's Pharma.
10:51 on the Mark Arum Show. Delays into Midtown. Live with the latest, Ashley Fresca.
You've got them first from Buckhead on 400 South, rolling past Lennox Road. Crews are working in the left lane below Sidney Marcus. And then once you get to the downtown connector, there's a new crash in a left center lane, 7585 southbound past 14th Street. Northbound crash is now on the shoulder at I-20. And look out for the construction crews. They're still working up in Duluth, 85 south at Sugarloaf Parkway in the right lanes. I'm Ashley Fresca, 95.5 WSB.
10:52 on Extremely busy News Day Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Checking Wall Street. The Dow down 764 points. NASDAQ down 264 on the tariff news today. Tariff news and aid to Ukraine news. Joining us from Bloomberg News, covering that story, Natalia Drozdiak. Natalia, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for having me.
Before we get to the nuts and bolts of the story, I don't know if you just heard Vice President Vance taking some Q&A on Capitol Hill. Did you catch that?
Did not. Please fill me in.
All right, no, let's listen together. This is J.D. Vance talking about President Trump's decision to cut off aid to Ukraine.
Happy to take a few questions if you guys have them.
Does pausing aid for Ukraine leave Ukraine vulnerable right now and give Russia an advantage?
Look, what the president has said very clearly about our Ukraine policy is that he wants the Ukrainians to come to the negotiating table. We want the Ukrainians to have a sovereign and an independent country. We think the Ukrainian troops have fought very bravely, but we're at a point here where neither Europe nor the United States nor the Ukrainians can continue this war indefinitely.
So J.D. Vance, that's just moments ago, Natalia, the vice president talking about what President Trump decided. Let's start with you and what the president decided when it comes to funding for Ukraine.
Yeah, so basically last night they decided that to cut off all aid flows that are going to Ukraine at the moment. So that seems to include both industry contracts that the former administration had put in with defense companies, but also plans to pull aid from Pentagon stockpiles.
And does the president have that power to turn off the faucet if the money had already been approved by Congress?
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's probably some questions politically about, whether he will manage to keep Congress happy, given that move. Like, as you say, they had approved that, but, he can make that, he can pause that. I guess the question is, going forward, what impact will that have? So we understand that Ukraine can basically manage, the next few months between the weapon stockpiles they've already received from the U.S., but from Europe, and then their own production. They could probably fend off the Russian forces for the next few months. The question is what happens after that. So how long is Trump's administration going to pressure Zelensky and the Ukrainians over this? And that's the real key question here, because it probably won't cause the front line to collapse next week, but over time, if this continues, that could have a real impact.
What reaction, if any, Natalia, have we heard from Moscow, the Kremlin, Putin?
Oh, I mean, this is. I'm sure that they'll be delighted to receive this news, because this is just another demand that they've been making and that they're getting fulfilled from the U.S. side. So at the moment, it just seems like most of the pressure is on Ukraine and very little on Moscow at the moment in terms of trying to reach a ceasefire deal. There might be some logic in that from the Trump administration perspective, given that Moscow has the momentum on the battlefield, and so they have little incentive to come to the table and actually negotiate a ceasefire. So potentially part of this, part of the logic in all of this is giving some form of a carrot to the Russians to come to the table, and then discussions will get more difficult from then on. But that's just one possibility in terms of how to interpret this.
But after hearing what the vice president said, to me, that seems more of a negotiation tool to get Ukraine and Zelensky to the negotiating table. Hey, we're pausing this. Come to the table, start talking about a peace deal, a minerals deal, and maybe we'll unfreeze the funds that were scheduled to be delivered.
Yeah, I think they are really trying to amp up the pressure on the Ukrainians at the moment, because they perceive Zelensky as not willing to make a deal. And the reason why they perceive that is because Zelensky has been trying to explain to them, from his perspective, that a deal won't stick unless there's some form of a security guarantee, and that most likely needs to be from the U.S. That seems to be a really touchy subject that the administration doesn't want to discuss, especially not right now. So this is kind of the crux of their dispute.
Never a boring day. Natalie Droziak from Bloomberg News. And Natalia, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, I've got more audio from J.D. Vance. Deborah's going to update that search for the missing Lake Oconee boater. And, again, a big thanks to Sudlow Concrete in Tucker, sponsoring the Mark Arum Show today online at sudlowconcrete.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB-FM, and HD1 Doraville.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
If you're a longtime Atlanta resident, I don't have to tell you, weather in March goes bananas. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Spring thunderstorms rolling in, rain, wind, even hail. Want you to get your roof ready for these storms. Dr. Roof here to help you. Check out their March specials at drroof.com. That's drroof.com. Roof repair, roof replacement, heck, even siding and windows. They do it all. Be prepared this crazy March. Go to drroof.com, drroof.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
House Republicans are working every day to secure the southern border, end government waste, and bring down the rising cost of living that is hurting every one of us. Y'all, I'm Congressman Mike Collins, and I won't let off the gas until we fix our country and put American interest first. And follow along at collins.house.gov, because we have a lot of work to get done, and I want you involved.
Paid for with official funds from the Office of Representative Mike Collins.
It all started as a front door dream. You want those beautiful double doors for the front entrance of your home. But every company you talk to said that single door just can't go double. But with us, you can. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. We specialize in removing your dated single front door, side lights, and transom, replacing them with a beautiful double door, customized for that space to impress and welcome your guests. Get started at all4seasonsgarages.com.
Why does it matter that D. Geller & Son is Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler? Because they get first dibs. And the rest of the diamonds, the duds as they're called, they go someplace else. That means the same color, same clarity, and same price gets you more brilliance, more sparkle, more bang for your diamond buck at D. Geller & Son. That's what they call the D. Geller difference. That's why Atlanta's first diamond wholesaler became Atlanta's favorite diamond retailer. Come see the D. Geller & Son difference for yourself in Atlanta, Kennesaw, and Sandy Springs, or dgeller.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. Well, now that the new tariffs are being slapped on nearly all goods from Mexico, Canada, and China, how will this impact you? Business correspondent Elizabeth Schultz says it's going to mean you'll probably have to pay more for everything from cars to fresh produce. So when might we see those increases in prices?
If these tariffs stay in place, economists expect you could start to see price hikes by Memorial Day. For groceries, it could be within weeks or even days. About 63% of U.S. vegetable imports come from Mexico. Think bell peppers, cucumbers, strawberries, tomatoes, limes, avocados, a lot of that fresh produce. And grocers, they can't really stockpile those foods in advance.
And she says the tariffs could also mean higher gas prices. And tonight, President Trump addressing Congress for the first time since returning to office. White House correspondent Mary Bruce has more from Washington.
The White House says the theme of the president's address tonight will be the renewal of the American dream, and they are promoting this as must-see TV. Meanwhile, Democratic Senator Alyssa Slotkin of Michigan, a swing state that Trump won, will deliver the official Democratic response. She's expected to reach out to working-class Americans and push back on the president's firings and cuts to the federal government.
And you will be able to hear live coverage of the president's address as well as the Democratic response starting tonight at 9 right here on 95.5 WSB. Your weather for today, increasing cloud cover, breezy with a high around 70. Some of those winds could be gusting up to 30 to 40 miles an hour later on. And severe weather could be an issue overnight, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Hundreds of wildfires continuing to burn across the Carolinas, the biggest near Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's burned more than 2,000 acres and remains largely uncontrolled. This woman lives near the area.
Experiencing seeing what we saw, the fact that no one's homes were taken from us, I would say that, yeah, that's pretty good. That's a miracle.
At least 15 houses and buildings have been damaged by a wildfire just across the state line in North Carolina. Rain and severe storms are in the forecast for the Carolinas tomorrow. Is your basement door locked? All your doors locked at your home? You might want to double check. Police searching for a man in Gwinnett County who went into a home on Canning Lake Court in Lawrenceville. He walked in through an unlocked basement door. Capital Juan Marieto on what the man did once he got inside.
He's fiddling around with some items in the basement, eventually makes his way into the bathroom, takes a shower, and leaves the home before taking a actual key to the house a lighter, and a folding knife.
He says the homeowner did confront the man, but he took off. Police have now released pictures of that suspect, an older white man with a slender build and a tattoo on his upper right arm. Anybody with information being asked to call Gwinnett Police. We're working to get those pictures online, WSBradio.com. Now to Pickens County. The sheriff's office there telling us they're still searching for a hit-and-run driver who left a bicyclist seriously injured over the weekend. According to police, this happened Saturday around 4 p.m. near Fortner Road and Harrington Road. That cyclist was airlifted from the scene. Captain Chris Leak with Pickens County Sheriff's Office tells us investigators are now searching for a dark-colored passenger car.
We're thinking that it's going to have damage to the front end, possibly the windshield. It was a front end impact.
Anybody with information being asked to call police. The markets are struggling today. The Dow down 760 points at 42,430. So the Dow's down almost 2%. NASDAQ and S&P are down more than 1.5%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Andrew Seco.
Good morning. Tracking some trouble as you're leaving Buckhead. Roadwork in the left lane. It's 400 southbound, merging to 85 south, exit 1. A little bit of a delay spot as you're leaving Brookhaven, as you're heading north on the Beaufort Spring Connector, almost to that DeKalb County line. Brush fire off to the side here, getting towards Piedmont Road. Only a left lane open here, slowing you down as you're leaving the downtown connector, and we are seeing some road work on the southeast side. I-20 eastbound, the collector distributor ramp at Wesley Chapel Road, slowing and going as you're merging from 285 eastbound. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy and breezy today, high near 70. Wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour this afternoon. Rain and storms don't arrive until closer to midnight. They'll move through the metro region through 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. Damaging wind gusts would be the main impacts. Drying out tomorrow afternoon, still breezy, high 65.
It is 57 degrees in Riverdale. Smyrna has 56, and so does College Park. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
Welcome back, friends. 11:04 on this Tuesday edition of the Mark Arum Show, brought to you by Sudlow Concrete. SudlowConcrete.com. Bill Sudlow, Aaron Marcinowski joining us live in studio. You can watch him live on the live stream. You guys you didn't wear makeup or anything. You didn't know you were going to be TV stars today. Aaron doesn't like me already. Bill, tell Aaron I'm a good guy. He's a good guy. I'm a good guy. These are two really good guys. They made a generous donation to the WSB Carathon, and as a result, they get to come in studio. We're going to go out to lunch. This is supposed to be the home broadcast, but this is better, right? This is better than me hanging out in your living room and clogging up your toilets and everything. But if you have a problem with your concrete, they've been in business 25 years. Locations around Metro Atlanta, Marietta, Alpharetta, Tucker, and Atlanta. No job too big, no job too small. Online at SudlowConcrete.com. We are following, as Sabrina just mentioned, the markets. No need to panic unless you're cashing out tomorrow, but markets do not like uncertainty, and that's what we've been seeing with the tariffs. We'll update the tariff story, the Ukraine aid story, and don't forget President Trump addressing both houses of Congress tonight. You will hear that live on 95.5 WSB. Before we get to that, Deborah's got an update on the story that has fascinated and the tragic story that's fascinated me, the missing boaters on Lake Oconee. Bill's a fellow fisherman, so we can relate to being out on big bodies of water. Obviously, one female passenger was found floating. The male passenger still not located after 23 days of searching. The new update on the story today regards the phone that was found in the hand of the female victim that was found floating in Lake Oconee. Deborah, what's the latest update on this?
Yeah, they found Jocelyn Wilson's phone. She still had it on her when they found her. And now they're asking the Secret Service to step in if they can kind of hack the phone, unlock it if will, and check the data. Because if you've ever taken a picture with your smartphone, it'll tag data around it like I was at this location at this time. And they're hoping that by finding that, they may be able to use those resources and find the teacher that is still missing. Maybe like, oh, we should be going over here instead, or let's check this area.
I wonder, I understand this has been a big issue, like phone privacy, right? And the FBI and the GBI and law enforcement agencies have requested to Apple, like, hey, we need to get in this person's phone. And Apple or Android would say, no, it's part of. But since she's deceased, I wonder if the family of Jocelyn could be like, you have our approval to unlock the phone and try to find out what happened. Maybe some folks in law enforcement are listening, can give us a buzz and lend us some insight at 404-872-0750. Do you understand the point I'm making, though, Deborah? I mean, she's gone.
I know for iPhone users, I'm not sure about Android, but in your iPhone there is a setting to have a legacy contact. Like my niece is my legacy contact, and she knows how to get into my phone and will have access to it in case something happens. There's a special code for her to use. So I know iPhone does that.
Interesting. I should have asked Kim Commando about that. I need to set that up, right? Have Maya be my legacy contact. Although if I'm gone, maybe I don't want Maya in my phone after. I don't want to.
Well, it won't matter at that point.
Pictures of Soba.
I don't want to tarnish my legacy with my legacy. So why your niece, Deborah? Why not me or Longoria? Just a trust issue with.
She just knows. Yeah, she knows a little bit too much.
All right. If anyone listen, if Tony Thomas,
language.
our buddy from the FBI, is listening, what's the protocol there for if Jocelyn, rest in peace, didn't have a legacy contact on her phone? What's the protocol to get that taken care of? 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB. Is it easy, Deborah, to set up that legacy? I mean, you'll have to walk me through it, but.
Yeah, there's literally, like, I'm sure if you go and search legacy contact, it'll take you right there, and then you select somebody that's already in your contacts, so you add somebody, and then you can send them a message, and they get a special pin.
All right, very good. All right, so hopefully they can get into Jocelyn's phone and garner some more information about just that horribly tragic story. Again, the update yesterday, after 22 days of searching, they've suspended the on-water portion of the search for her missing fiance. They will still look on the shoreline, but the weather apparently is not good for the canines out there to search, so they've suspended that area of the search. Keep us up to date, Deborah, if you're getting more information on that. And again, if anyone in law enforcement has any knowledge, 404-872-0750. Deborah I know for a fact, is a blood donor. Longoria, do you donate blood on the regular?
I do not.
You do not?
I do not. I should.
I have. I don't do it regularly. I should as well. I figure with my lifestyle, I'd probably get rejected.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I only give blood when I have to, and even then, I'm like,
you have Aram. You have high levels of filet-o-fish in your blood
during the lead season.
This is a great story. You may never have heard of James Harrison, but 2 million people are alive today thanks to the blood that the Australian donated over the course of his long life. CBS's Vicky Barker takes up the story from our foreign desk in London.
They called him the man with the golden arm. James Harrison's blood contained a rare antibody known as anti-D. It's needed to treat pregnant mothers whose own blood is at risk of attacking their unborn babies, a potentially fatal condition known as Rhesus disease. The former railway manager gave blood more than 1,100 times, helping to save the lives of more than 2 million babies. And he did all of that despite having a fear of needles. His family says Harrison died in his sleep last month. He was 88. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
1,100 times he donated blood. That's remarkable. And he was scared of needles too.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Vicky just said. He passed away in his sleep last month at the age of 88. Deborah, I know you've donated blood throughout your life, but you can't be close to 1,100, right? That's an absurd amount of time.
No, I'm over. Yeah, like I've over. Gosh, I can go in and look like over 100, but that's not close to.
That's
where that
great.
one is.
All right, so you're taking up the slack for me and Longoria.
Yeah, it is.
Maya donated blood a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and she donated a pint of her blood, and that's a tenth of her blood. Like she goes really woozy after. That guy donated blood 1,100 times, saving the lives of more than 2 million people. I don't know if you need incentive to go out and donate your blood, but rest in peace to James Harrison. Donated blood 1,100 times. Quick break. When we come back, we'll update our top local stories, the latest on the tariffs, what's going on the markets. And have you ever heard of the Georgia Promise Scholarship? Could be good news for parents and students here in Georgia. We'll explain next on The Mark Arum Show.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
It should go without saying that I abhor violence.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
I just don't feel like other people that I don't know need to know how I feel about things.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Our weather is so unpredictable and your roof takes all the abuse. If it needs repair or replacement, think of Findlay First, the roof guys, the perfect match for any roofing issues. Schedule your free roof analysis at findlayroofing.com. Roof.
Hey, this is Rocco at Rocco's European Garage, and we invite you to come see us at our 6th location, now open off of Main Street, halfway between downtown Alpharetta and Milton. At Rocco's European Garage, we take pride in offering full service and repair on any European vehicle. You'll always get effective communication, upfront all-in pricing, and you approve the work prior to us beginning. Plus a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker, always at a better value than the dealership. Now open in Alpharetta or find a location near you at roccoseuropeangarage.com.
Ready to transform your outdoor living space? Welcome to SPF Screens and Awnings, the experts in outdoor screen and shade products proudly serving Atlanta. At SPF, we tailor solutions just for you. With our custom-built screens and awnings, you choose the material, color, and design to match your style. Looking for comfort and privacy? Our motorized screens keep the bugs and sun out while allowing the breeze in with the click of a button. With SPF, our seamless turnaround means you'll have your products in just a few weeks. And with our 5-year warranty on hurricane screens and 10-year warranty on screens and awnings, you know you're investing in quality that lasts. We even offer flexible financing. Elevate your outdoor area today. Transform your outdoor living with SPF Screens and Awnings, where comfort meets style. For a limited time, enjoy $250 off our motorized awnings and screens. Purchase any awning and receive a free LED light upgrade to enhance your outdoor experience with a perfect ambiance day or night. Visit sunprotection.com to schedule your free consultation. That's sunprotection.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163. 546.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar. Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
11:17 on the Mark Arum Show. Trouble on the Buford Spring Connector heading to my house. Live with the latest, Andrew Seco.
Good morning, Mark, but not a good morning as you're heading through Midtown towards DeKalb County. Brush fire, only a left lane open the Buford Spring Connector. We're heading north right towards I-85. Delays pretty tough. Short-lived, though, so no need for an alternate right now. Just a quick tap of the brakes. Approaching that 85 fork. Seen some roadwork in the left lane, 400 south, merging to 85 south, exit 1A. And a left lane blocked, I-20 eastbound, the Collector Distributor, a Wesley Chapel Road. This report sponsored by A Beautiful Noise. A Beautiful Noise, the Neil Diamond musical, tells the untold true story of America's greatest hitmaker. At the Fox Theater, March 11th through 16th. Get tickets at BroadwayInAtlanta.com. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
Too early, Longo, to award a star of the show. Can I do it right now?
No, of course.
It's not you, by the way. Aaron Marcinowski. Aaron Marcinowski from Sudlow Concrete, sudlowconcrete.com, driveway replacement experts, gets a star of the show. In the break, we were talking about, Deborah, the story of the Lake Oconee, Jocelyn Wilson, and the authorities are trying to get access to her phone. Aaron's like, can't they just hold the phone up to her face and unlock it? Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Aaron. So Aaron gets to start the show. Bill Sudlow, also of Sudlow Concrete, the namesake. You have not yet earned the star. Oh, you did. You brought in donuts. All right, so 2 stars of the show there. Sudlowconcrete.com for all of your concrete needs. Driveway replacement, repair, fantastic stuff. Been in business in Metro Atlanta for over 25 years. Tony in Lithia Springs wants to talk about that Lake Oconee phone story. Tony, what's going on, brother?
Oh, man, just getting off the road. I work for Wrestling now. I used to be a sheriff in Colquitt County, Georgia.
Oh, well, thanks for your service, brother.
Yeah, thank you for what you guys do. It's really a legal matter. I think it's a legal matter now. I mean, you can't go in somebody's house without a probable cause. You have to get a warrant. And that's the only way they're going to be able to get that phone is get a warrant.
They can't ask her. They can't ask her family for permission since she passed away. No,
it's not. It's got to be a warrant to unlock the phone, and it's not the family's phone. It's the AT&T, Verizon thing. They will not let you have access to the phone because it violates
the term agreement, the policy. Yeah, I get that. Now, what about Aaron's suggestion where they accidentally just hold the phone over her face to unlock it?
Well, here's the thing about that. They could do that, and most people do that. We didn't have that technology when I was in law enforcement, but what you do is do that because who's going to press charges? The DA is not. This is not about a. Now, the defense could argue the fact that the evidence was obtained illegally. That's an illegal, like a illegal search and seizure is the same deal. Whatever evidence that I gather from an illegal search and seizure.
Sure. But that's only if there's a criminal prosecution coming. All right. Yeah, I watch too many TV shows, but I love that idea. Just put it over their face. Breaking news on the tariff front. Of course, today, March 4th, the tariffs went into service against Canada, Mexico, and China. We have just heard from the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau. Apparently, Canada is not going to sit on their hands when it comes to this.
Canadians are reasonable, and we are polite, but we will not back down from a fight. Not when our country and the well-being of everyone in it is at stake. At the moment, the U.S. tariffs came into effect in the early hours of this morning, and so did the Canadian response. Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately, and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time. Encore aujourd'hui, on se voit forcé d'imposer des droits de douane de 25%.
I didn't know he was speaking French there. Let's see if we can get back to English.
His words were very strong. This is the prime.
No, that's Wolf Blitzer. All right, so Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announcing retaliatory tariffs of 25% on $30 billion worth of goods, I believe he said, and then in 21 days, broader tariffs. So I'm not an economic professor, but this sounds like a full-on trade war going on with the United States and our neighbors to the north. Trudeau to Trump, quote, "You're a very smart guy. This is a very dumb thing to do." That is a quote from the Prime Minister of Canada as we get more reaction to that. We talked to Jeff Gilbert earlier in the show, the automotive expert in Detroit from WWJ. A lot of the tariffs that could impact us here in Georgia, automotives. Broadly, lumber, we get a lot of lumber in from Canada. And this is just me personally. And this is probably not going to affect maybe but 3 people listening. I don't know if you've been to the grocery store lately, Longoria, or Costco, or a restaurant. There has been this trend in the last couple of years to because Maine lobsters were getting too expensive, that people were buying Nova Scotia lobsters.
Okay, are they lower lobsters than Maine lobsters?
I mean, it's the same water.
Right,
it's you go from the Maine water to Nova Scotia, it's like 30 yards. But it doesn't have the Maine lobster name. So we've been seeing more Nova Scotia lobster imported because it's cheaper. Now, if we get tariffs on that, maybe that's good news for the Maine lobster. It's bad news for lobster lovers.
You're saying all around is bad news.
It's bad news for lobster lovers, and I know because of you watch Dangerous, Deadliest Catch.
Yes.
With all the snow crab shortage there in the Bering Strait, Bering Sea.
Sure.
That we've been getting a lot more of our snow crab for Canada. So I'm not getting lumber. I'm not.
Seafood feasts are going to be
exactly
not good.
What's going to happen to Lobster Fest? What is going to happen to Lobster Fest? Let's go back to, I believe Justin Trudeau is still speaking. Let's check in on CNN.
Really what I think a lot of us have suspected for a long time, that these tariffs are not specifically about fentanyl, even though that is the legal justification he must use to actually move forward with these tariffs.
Monsieur Trudeau, en français, à part l'allocution que vous avez eue envers Monsieur Trump, lui avez-vous parlé au cours des dernières heures?
Have you talked to Mr. Trump besides that conversation you
That reminds me. All right, we'll continue to monitor what Justin Trudeau is saying, but the retaliatory tariffs. All right, Wall Street not happy. They've been grumpy all morning. Dow down 779. NASDAQ down just under 300, and the S&P down 106. It reminds me, the translation there, my roommate in college, Nick Rodriguez, Cuban guy, and we had the basic cable package at our house in college, and one of the shows that we would watch, or one of the channels we'd watch, was Telemundo or whatever. This is the the early 90s. And we just loved watching the soap operas because they had these beautiful women in these telenovelas. That
is right. Yeah.
And because and game shows, Gabby Rufo was the game show. Anyway, so my buddy Nick, 10 in the morning, he's hungover, and we'd make him translate the Spanish soap operas. Like, Nick, what'd he say? He's like, he's mad at her because he thinks she's, he gets so mad at her.
He'd probably just pay for the regular cable so you could get
he would just leave the living room, go upstairs so he didn't have to translate. All right, Justin Trudeau, strong words there, as it appears we are now in a full-on trade war. Temporarily, maybe. Are these still just negotiating tactics? We'll come back, recap what's going on with tariffs, both here and abroad, and the ending of Ukraine aid. So much more to talk about. Social media is active at Mark Arum. Sponsored today by Sudlow Concrete, online at sudlowconcrete.com.
Do you have uneven concrete surfaces like sidewalks, driveways, and patios? You need AquaGuard Foundation Solutions to come out and address the problem. AquaGuard can level those uneven surfaces and take away your worries. Schedule a free inspection today at aquaguard.net.
AquaGuard. The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
We've lowered prices. You can save 15% or more on hundreds of items like Thomas Mini Bagels, Campbell's SpaghettiOs, and more. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Scott Slade here to talk to you about your health, and I think it's real important to talk about what is most likely to kill you. Heart disease is the #1 killer of Americans, and the older we get, the more prevalent it is. But you can reduce your risk. Eat right, don't smoke, exercise, and be informed about what's going on in your own body. Like lots of potentially serious health problems, if you catch heart disease early, you vastly increase your chances of living a longer life. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. Virtual imaging scans take less than 10 minutes and screen with 98% accuracy for heart disease. Other scans, including brain and full body, are available too. Virtual imaging is locally owned and operated in Atlanta for over 15 years, so they can make you this terrific offer. A complimentary heart scan for you and your spouse with a few minimum requirements. So don't put this off. I've done it. Call Virtual Imaging today for your free heart scan. 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-7226. Or visit their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months, no credit check, and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. So how safe are you when you fly? The House Transportation Aviation Subcommittee right now holding a hearing on the state of the air traffic control system and the need to invest in modernizing and staffing after a series of safety issues and a deadly accident. Steve Cohen, ranking member of the Aviation Subcommittee.
The recent and tragic mid-air collision at DCA is just the latest grim reminder that safety cannot be taken for granted. We've seen too many close calls in this country, runway incursions, mid-air near misses, in addition to the other tragic accidents that should serve as a wake-up call.
Now, several of those close calls we've told you about recently have involved Atlanta-based Delta airline jets. Your weather for today, increasing cloud cover, breezy with a high around 70. Some of those winds this afternoon could be gusting up to 30 to 40 miles an hour, and severe storms are possible overnight. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast with WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards straight ahead. House Speaker Mike Johnson talking with reporters on Capitol Hill this morning after President Trump imposed tariffs on goods from Mexico, Canada, and China. He expressed support for the president.
His idea of reciprocal tariffs policies is actually really comports with common sense.
Now, these tariffs will impact the price on many things, from fresh produce to cars. In fact, Brian Moody with the Kelley Blue Book telling WSB the impacts will be felt across the board when you go to buy a car or truck.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of cars and trucks that we typically think of as American are either owned by overseas brands or They are manufactured just over the border in a place like Windsor, Ontario.
So, should you hold off buying a car right now?
I don't think waiting them out is a realistic solution because, as we saw during COVID, once you pause something, it takes so long to get back up to speed.
And some say these tariffs could also mean higher prices when you go to fill up your car. This just in, Ukrainian President Zelensky saying that his tense Oval Office meeting with President Trump was regrettable. In a post on X today, Zelensky said that Friday's meeting at the White House, quote, did not go the way it was supposed to be. He added Ukraine is ready to work fast to end the war. Zelensky said the first stage of a deal with Russia could include the release of prisoners and a ban on missiles and long-range drones. He ended his post by saying Ukraine is ready to sign an agreement on minerals and security with the United States. This is new this morning. A third suspect in a deadly armed robbery is now in police custody. Because she is a minor, the name of the 16-year-old is being withheld by Atlanta police. They say it is in connection with the January 25th assault on a 29-year-old man on Gun Club Road in northwest Atlanta. The victim died after being shot multiple times. The two previous arrests are for 18-year-old Israel Bird and an unidentified 17-year-old. All three suspects facing charges including murder. Two are being held at the Fulton County Jail. That 16-year-old female is at the Metro Regional Youth Detention Center. All right, let's take a look at the market. It's been a rough day on Wall Street. The Dow down 774 points at 42,417. The Dow down almost 2%. NASDAQ's down more than 1.5%, and so is the S&P. Let's get a check of the roads. Andrew Seaco's in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Watching a new cone zone on the southwest side in Fulton County. Right lane blocked off. 285 south, the outer loop getting past Langford Parkway. That's exit 5. No need for an alternate. Quick tap of the brakes approaching the airport. We are still seeing some merge delays on the southeast side. 285 north merging to I-20 eastbound. Left lane blocked on the collector distributor ramp. And a right lane blocked on the through lanes eastbound to Wesley Chapel Road, exit 68. And our double trouble continues through Midtown. Northbound, only a left lane open. Brush fire. The Beaufort Spring connector northbound at Piedmont Road. And roadwork in the left lane. 400 south merging to 85 south. Backdoor all the way towards Lenox Road. Maybe time to consider hopping on Highway 9. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy and breezy today. High near 70. Wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour. Heavy rain and thunderstorms arrive after midnight, sweeping through the metro region through 5 a.m. Damaging wind gusts may knock down trees and power lines for early tomorrow morning. Drying out tomorrow afternoon, though still cloudy and breezy, high 65.
It is 56 degrees in Tucker, 55 in Johns Creek. Canton, you have 57 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When the news matters to you.
Several people feel sick after a gas leak inside a Residence Inn on Peachtree Street.
95.5 WSB has you covered.
We had a total of 5 patients that were transported.
Your 24/7 news source. When you need the story, all you need to do is listen.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
All these countries around the world have taken advantage of America. The America First agenda is to reset those relationships.
Tariffs, and not a drop to drink. That's House Speaker Mike Johnson. We'll get you caught up to date on the tariff news next on the Mark Arum Show.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world, protecting America, fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Beach and pool season quickly approaching. Make sure you use the proper SPF on your arms, your legs, your chest, your face, and maybe you need it on your scalp as well. If you are insufficiently covered with hair, hey, it's Mark Arum here. Yeah, I know it's a drag. You probably have to put that SPF 100 on your dome if you are suffering from bald spots, receding hairline, just general hair loss. Take care of it before you have to deal with beach and pool season for my friends at Advanced Hair. If you want to get your hair back, guys, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you're going to need a free consultation. I want you to schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow online at advancedhair.com.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man, high five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, Bike Shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Pesselthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years!
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five!
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately, and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time.
Canadian Prime Minister, just moments ago, you heard here on WSB Radio, retaliatory tariffs from Canada against the United States after President Trump's tariffs against Canada, Mexico, and China went into effect today. We heard from the Mexican president. She says this Sunday she will announce retaliatory tariffs. Is this just negotiating between the three countries, or is this the new normal? Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Big show tomorrow, by the way, Deborah Green. Who is on tap tomorrow for the show? This is great. We've got
a lot of guests.
Yeah,
we have a lot of guests. So we'll talk to Kim Commando. She's going to explain the legacy contact in the iPhone.
Oh,
for
good.
you. We've got actress Ione Skye. I'm sure you have
Say
seen
Anything.
her in many films. Maybe you remember her from Say Anything.
Say Anything, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
all right,
Matt
very excited.
Paxton. From Filthy Fortunes. Do you know who Matt Paxton is? You watch that show, don't you?
I, of course, watch. I am a huge fan of Matthew Paxton. That's what I call him. I call him Matthew.
All right, he'll be on. And then we're also going to head to Germany, right?
Yes, that's right. Christina Gonzalez, our former coworker. She now works for Politico in Germany. She's going to join us with the European Union reaction to everything that's been going on. Reminder, programming note, President Trump is going to address both houses of Congress this evening. He will be, the speech will be broadcast live here on 95.5 WSB. And again, I haven't heard otherwise, the Democratic response. Usually we do the speech of the president and the response from the opposition party. So expect that tonight on 95.5 WSB. Do I even want to check the markets now? Let me do it. Just don't log on to your stuff. All right, Dow's down 778, S&P a hundo, and the Nasdaq's down 258. Longorio, a crypto bro, Bitcoin is down $3,349.
Okay.
Dogecoin is down just a little bit. I don't know if you're a Doge dude or not. The reason I'm talking to you, Longoria, you should be investing in Bitcoin because you have two girls that are going to be needing college tuition coming up shortly. Maybe, Deborah, Longoria qualifies for the Georgia Promise Scholarship, which, to be honest, I'd never heard of before today. What is the Georgia Promise Scholarship?
Yeah, so the Georgia Promise Scholarship is basically it's a voucher for up to $6,500 per student if you live in an underperforming school district. So your kid's really smart, but for some reason the school just isn't living up to their potential. That'll give that student $6,500 to maybe go to a private school or a chance to be homeschooled or just go to another school district.
I wonder what the cutoff point is for an underperforming school, right? I mean, you're not going to throw your kid's school under the bus.
No. We're in Cobb County, and it's pretty good. I mean, we moved there for the school district, so it's a pretty. It's a decent, good school district.
So $6,500 if your kid goes to an underperforming school district. I guess the question is, what is considered underperforming or not? Have you seen? How we got to get him on Nate Bargatze. He did a thing about the school called. Something would happen with his daughter. I'm going to totally mangle this bit, but they called and they're like, hey, we need you to come pick up your daughter. Can you tell us what bus number she's on?
Right.
And he's like, you looked at the contact list and you said, let me call the husband to find out what.
Yeah, we don't know anything. I always go to my, what exactly. Bus number is it or what?
And he goes, the only way is if there were two dads listed, but even then there's one dad that knows. And they're like, all right, well, you need to come pick your daughter up from the school. And he goes, okay, what's the name of the school again? he didn't even know the girl's school. And I saw, he's so funny. But I also saw one of those man on the street videos where they asked, there's a dad, a mom, and like 4 girls. And they asked the dad, what's your daughter's best friend's name? And he goes, all 4 he didn't know. Then they asked the mom. They're like, oh, Maria, Ashley, Sophia, and Stacy. Like she knew all 4. And the dude didn't know the school that they went to. Is that really how dads are?
Yeah, I at least know the school, but yes. Yeah. We were like that.
Do you know your daughter's best friends' names?
I do.
All right. I'm not going to ask.
No, I do.
I trust you.
Yeah, I do.
All right. I trust you. Anyway, Deborah's going to work on getting Nate Bargatze on the show. Maybe the funniest man on the planet right now. He's not funny, but he is successful. Happy 59th birthday. Grand Poobah turns 59 years old today. Here's I Like It from Mr. Poobah. I'm trying to think if he has another hit aside from I Like It. All right, two listeners appreciate that.
Grand Poobah was.
Yeah, I think more listeners will appreciate this birthday.
When I got married, I didn't just get a husband. I got a whole freak show that set up their tent right across the street.
That's Deborah on Everybody Loves Raymond. Patricia Heaton turns 67 years old today. One more birthday. I think she is amazingly funny. Catherine O'Hara turned 71 today. She was the mom in Home Alone. She was in Beetlejuice, and Moira Rose on The Blank Creek Show.
I shall bathe. And if I bang my head and slip beneath the surface, so be it, Mr. Rose.
She was phenomenal in all those mockumentaries. Waiting for Guffman and Best in Show. Phenomenal. 71 years old. All right, quick break. When we come back, we're going to update the tariff situation, how it could impact us here in Georgia. Again, shout out to our friends at Sudlow Concrete. Made a huge donation to the WSB Carathon. They are sponsoring the show today. Bill and Aaron in studio. You can watch them live at WSBRadio.com. SudlowConcrete.com. Locations around the metro area: Marietta, Alpharetta, Tucker, and Atlanta. 25 years in business here in the metro area. Driveway replacement, driveway repair. No job too small, no job too big. Shout out again to Sudlow Concrete for sponsoring the Mark Arum Show.
WSB is looking for a home for goldfish. Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News. He is our dog of the month. With Paws in Atlanta, we're looking for Goldfish's new family. He's about 3, loved a good belly rub when we met him here, cuddling and curious. Meet him at WSBRadio.com/dog. Our sponsor, Finley Roofing, pays the adoption fee. WSBRadio.com/dog.
Hey y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. And I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
As a trucker, I know how challenging these last 4 years have been. I'm Congressman Mike Collins, and I've been hitting the road listening to Georgians across my district. Please know that help is on the way, and follow along at collins.house.gov.
Paid for with official funds from the Office of Representative Mike Collins.
Hey, this is Congressman Mike Collins. I'm fighting every day for America First policies in Washington, and I want to hear from you about how we can make our country better. Reach out at collins.house.gov and let me know.
Paid for with official funds from the Office of Representative Mike Collins.
This is Monica Pearson from My Plumber Superior Plumbing. The owner, Jay Cunningham, has been serving Atlanta for almost 40 years. They are Atlanta's plumber. Most other plumbing companies have been purchased by private equity conglomerates. Superior Plumbing is entrenched in the community, but the reason I chose Superior Plumbing is that they respect your time with on-time appointments and quality work done right the first time.
Superior, the honest one. Call 770-422-PLUM.
Hey, this is Belinda for the board-certified plastic surgeons at Marietta Plastic Surgery. The plastic surgeons and estheticians at Marietta Plastic Surgery have been taking care of my needs for years. Doctors West, McNeil, Hanna, and Biswas have served Atlanta for over 25 years, providing both surgical and non-surgical treatments. They're recognized for their commitment to patient care and satisfaction, and were featured in the Atlantan Magazine list of top doctors. The temperature's starting to rise and summer's just around the corner. Are you ready for the pool, lake, or beach? Whether you're considering enhancements for your face, body, or breast, their experts are here to guide you. Marietta Plastic Surgery offers a range of med spa treatments which provide youthful, glowing skin, including Botox and fillers, microneedling, Diamond Glow, hydrofacials, and Morpheus 8. Contact them today for a consultation. Visit MariettaPlasticSurgery.com.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
11:49 on the Mark Arum Show, checking back on issues on the Buford Spring Connector, live with the latest, Andrew Seco.
And we are completely cleared from our earlier brush fire. All lanes back open. Buford Spring Connector northbound. As you approach I-85, delays may take a couple seconds to thin out, so keep a foot close to the brake pedal. Remember to pack your patience heading closer to Brookhaven. If you're heading out of Brookhaven into Midtown, left lane still blocked, 400 south, merging to 85 south, exit 1A. And the collector distributor ramp still seeing some delays. Left lane knocked out, 285 north. The outer loop merging into I-20 east, slowing you down past Wesley Chapel Road. This report sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure and your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at a betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Andrew Seco, 95.5 WSB.
You know what I forgot, Deborah? I forgot to bring in the swag to give away because we didn't have any prizes to give away today. All right,
The denim shirt.
The denim WSB AM 750 unwrapped denim shirt from 1999. I'll bring that in tomorrow, unless we have tickets to give away tomorrow. If then, we do not. All right, I'll give the swag away tomorrow. Really busy news day here on 95.5 WSB. The Russia-Ukraine situation. Didn't even touch on the latest with Israel and Hamas, but the headline have been the tariffs. Manu Raju on Capitol Hill starting to see some pushback maybe.
There is a lot of pushback on Capitol Hill from that decision by the Trump administration to hold back on that military aid. Republicans and Democrats alike, people like Senator Susan Collins of Maine, who chairs the powerful Senate Appropriations Appropriations Committee objecting to that move. Other Ukraine supporters as well, including one Democratic Senator, Richard Blumenthal, who just told me moments ago he believes that that is an illegal move by the president to halt that aid. So expect some more pushback if that is not ultimately released. And Wolf, J.D. Vance also was asked about the issue of those tariffs, so 25% tariffs going into effect against Canada and Mexico, another issue that has caused a lot of concern among Democrats and Republicans members alike. He was referring, when he was asked specifically about the issue of the Canada tariffs, Wolf, he suggested that the issue of fentanyl, he said we need to see real engagement on the fentanyl issue, on the drug issue. This is fundamentally the underlying element of these tariffs. He says that we think the Canadians have not been serious about stopping the drug trade. So you can see the red line from the administration on that issue. The Canadians, of course, have a different view than the Vice President of the United States, but that is where the administration stands as these tariffs have gone into effect and as this halting this military aid has as well.
All right, Manu Raju on Capitol Hill monitoring congressional pushback to the tariff situation and the stopping of Ukraine aid from the United States to Ukraine. J.D. Vance, the vice president, taking questions earlier this morning.
Happy to take a few questions if you guys have them.
Just pausing aid for Ukraine leave Ukraine vulnerable right now and give Russia an advantage?
Look, what the president has said very clearly about our Ukraine policy is that he wants the Ukrainians to come to the negotiating table. We want the Ukrainians to have a sovereign and an independent country. We think the Ukrainian troops have fought very bravely, but we're at a point here where neither Europe nor the United States nor the Ukrainians can continue this war indefinitely. So it's important that everybody come to the table, and the president is trying to send a very explicit message. The Ukrainians have got to come to the table and start negotiating with President Trump.
Do you still have hope for the mineral deal? Do you believe that the mineral deal can still be reached with Ukraine?
Yeah, I certainly do. And I think the president is still committed to the mineral deal. I think we've heard some positive things, but not yet, of course, a signature from our friends in Ukraine. But look, the mineral deal is a really important part of the president's policy. Number one, the American people have got to get some payback for the incredible financial investment we've made in this country. A lot of the aid that the Europeans have sent has come in the form of money that is getting repaid to them. Well, it's really ridiculous and frankly an insult to the American people that the Europeans are getting a better deal than the American people. The president is just trying to ensure that the American people get a fair deal while simultaneously ensuring we have access to some minerals and resources that are very important for the economy of the future.
Vice President J.D. Vance earlier this morning on Capitol Hill discussing a lot of things there. Most notably, though, the pause, I believe, is what President Trump referred to it as on the aid that the United States is providing Ukraine. Is this just a negotiating tool to get Zelensky back to the table and sign that rare earth mineral deal to get him to agree to a ceasefire? Certainly the cessation of United States aid would be a big carrot stick situation to get Zelensky back to the table. We'll continuously update the situation with aid to Ukraine. And will President Trump talk about that tonight as he addresses the joint houses of Congress? We'll hear that speech live here on 95.5 WSB. One quick update on tariffs. Again, the tariffs go into effect today. 25% for our neighbors to the north and south, an additional 10% on China. Already heard from Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada. We will see retaliatory tariffs from our neighbors to the north.
Canada will be implementing 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods, starting with tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods immediately, and tariffs on the remaining $125 billion of American products in 21 days' time.
A lot of heavy stuff on the show today. Let's end on a somewhat lighter note. The Big Easy, more like the Big Breezy today, with the front creating high winds impacting the Mardi Gras celebration. WWL's Dave Cohen has more from Nolans.
Fat Tuesday means street parties and parades here in New Orleans, but Mother Nature's not cooperating.
Gusty and windy conditions during the day as we wait for the line of storms.
Meteorologist Alexander Cranford says some of the weather could be severe. That's had some parades canceled, while others are abbreviated. But it's not stopping the huge crowds in the French Quarter from still taking part in the traditional flashing of flash. Dave Cohen for CBS News, New
On
Orleans.
this Fat Tuesday, if you go to my X account, my Twitter account, you can see there a picture of me from one of the 8 Mardi Gras I attended, a younger Arab with plenty of beads. Plenty of beads around my neck.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, speaking of Mardi Gras, you ever wonder what the colors mean? So purple is for justice, gold is for power, and green for faith.
Say it again, purple?
Purple is for justice.
Justice.
Gold is power.
Power.
Green is faith.
Faith.
Yeah.
That's the colors of the king cake.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one you really love, the king cake.
I don't dislike it. I won't go out of my way for a king cake. I will go out of my way for a Donut City donut that we are enjoying here. I can't believe Vinny doesn't even want it. Vinny Bag of Donuts is
he on a diet?
He's apparently watching his. I guess he's going to spring break down in Panama City or something.
Okay, yeah.
Wants to get in his bathing suit. Yeah. So anyway, Donut City Donuts provided by Bill and Aaron. I got to thank you guys again. They sponsored the show today. Sudlow Concrete. They made such a generous donation to the WSB Carathon, so we were happy to invite them in studio. Yeah, you didn't have to bring donuts, Bill. That was above and beyond. Bill, UGA grad. Aaron, War Dame Eagle. Went to Auburn. We won't hold that against him here in the home of the dogs. But thank you so much. Amazing stuff. SudlowConcrete.com. Locations around the metro area. Marietta, Alpharetta, Tucker, and Atlanta. 25 years in the area. Driveway replacement is their expertise. But no job too small, no job too big for our friends at Sudlow Concrete, whom are about to get star of the show. Now, do you guys want individual stars of the show or just give it to Sudlow?
Colors are red and black.
Colors are red and black. All right, so we're going to give Sudlow Concrete a star of the show. Bill Sudlow gets a star of the show. Aaron Marcinowski. Marcinowski, son of a... I am not getting star of the show. I mispronounced Aaron's name twice. Jeff Gilbert gets a star of the show. Joined us from WWJ in Detroit, talking about the automotive tariffs, how it could impact us here in Georgia. Rory O'Neill, correspondent, joins us. Caleb Silver, previewing what is going on Wall Street right now. Don't look. It's fine. We'll all be fine. Caleb's with Investopedia and ABC. Natalia Drozdiak from Bloomberg News updated the Ukraine aid story. And how about my man Scott Slade? He joined us live with a really crazy cold case story out of DeKalb County. Scott gets a star of the show. Longoria gets a star of the show. Welcome back, Longo. Young Gnocchi gets a star of the show. I think that's it. I'm done. I'm out. Social medias will be active at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Our coverage of all these big stories continues after news, weather, and traffic. Eric Erickson, noon to 3 here on the Nifty 750. I will be active on social medias at Mark Arum, MarkArum.